listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this installment of the Pelican Postgame Report. PPR representing. I'm Big Q. We got DC chiming in. Lexxah pop up momentarily. We talking Pels, baby. Friday night, we in the stream, man. We're going to talk about it, man. And listen, we did have some news, man, as the Pelicans continue to lose assets. And this was a pretty good one, man, to be honest with you. As Trajan Langdon, man, continues he took the Pistons job. And this is pretty much what some people do. They work with people who they believe will be good assets in their new position. And Trajan Langdon has taken a couple of people from the Pelicans. So Coach Freddie V is getting a bump. He's getting a bump. He's going to be the lead assistant with Monty Williams, another former Pelican coach. So you got a former Pelican VP, general manager, actually, who's now the VP. You got a former Pelican coach who wasn't a bad coach. And then you got Coach Freddie V joining him as a top assistant. And it's interesting, man. DC, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you being in alive, bro. Freddie V, they call him the shooting guru, fam. He's gone, man. He's headed to Detroit,
14
man.
years.
14 years.
Yeah, man. That's crazy, man. Congratulations to Freddie, though, man. 'Cause, I mean, man got a chance to go be assistant head coach. I think under Monty Williams. Like, who would pass that up to still be shooting coach for the Pelicans, man? I mean, come on. He's not Pete Carmichael. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Very, very sad to see him leave. I would think this severely changes our draft strategy. Mr. Bryce Brown was saying that we can have an advantage at drafting guys that can do everything else but aren't able to shoot because of Mr. Fred Vinson. We have him in house who's able to get those guys shots together. I mean, you saw what he did with Herb Jones. Everybody's seen what he did with Lonzo Ball. Zion, that mid-range coming together. I don't know how much Fred got to do with that. He actually looks pretty solid shooting the free throw, even though I know percentages don't always show it with him at this point right now. We saw Brandon Ingram come here and improve as a three-point shooter from the Lakers. A lot of people forget that he was with Fred Vinson and Lonzo Ball. Those guys were working in the Fred Vinson camp together daily, 2 days they was doing. Man, it was going in the morning and in the night. And many others, I'm sure, Fred Vinson has impacted and helped the shot doctor. You know, a lot of people call him here. So shout out to him, man. Done a lot of great things for us. Definitely earned his opportunity. Put in 14 years of work to be able to be assistant head coach for the Detroit Pistons. And Trajan Langdon looks to be getting a little get back at David Griffin as he poaches another one of his people from in the building. This would be the second person. The contract negotiator, he also poached from the Pelicans. I can't remember that guy's name. What was it? Something Black. You remember his name?
Michael Blackstone.
Michael Blackstone. There we go.
Yeah, Michael Blackstone.
I don't know how we're going to do whoever we trade for contract. Are we going to be able to do the draft guys contract? Who doing the contracts now for us?
Well, DC, and that's true. Trajan Langdon is the VP up there. He took the guy that was working up under him, and Michael Blackstone, who was also pretty good. And what he did, he was the vice president of basketball administration, so he had a lot of good duties there. Took him out there to Detroit, and now has Freddie V going out there with him. So, congratulations to these guys, man. They're looking to kind of make some moves. Trajan Langdon is going to turn the Pistons around. And a lot of Piston people started to watch the Pelican Postgame Report because they didn't know what they were getting in Trajan Langdon. You know, they don't know, too much about some of these people. And a lot of these folks, we are very familiar with on PPR because most of these guys had an opportunity to spend an extended period of time in the building in New Orleans. Monty Williams, Freddie B, Trajan Langdon, Michael Blackstone, all these guys were good and productive people for the Pelicans in many regards. So Detroit, y'all getting some good people here, man. So y'all about to get ready to make a little come up here very soon in the East.
Hold on, Q. I hate to sidebar a little bit, but I just gotta say something because I realized the finals was on today. Did you know Dallas Mavericks is beating the Celtics? What is it? This score got to be 80-47. What the hell is going on, man?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
see.
let's back to business, bro. I was
Um,
so shocked seeing that, bro. I had to tell something.
well,
Who better to
yeah.
tell y'all than to keep to myself. A
So
lot of people in the chat probably already know they might be watching again.
yeah, 80-47 right now. As the score I was
That's
looking at,
crazy, man.
it's like,
That's
man,
crazy.
yeah, it don't make any sense. All right, Steph says,
Right. And they,
who
I mean, they just would look completely overmatched all other three games, and then to come out and it's 80-47 tonight. That is crazy, man.
they
They
found
definitely like they figured out something.
they did indeed. But yeah, this is interesting, man, and this have some implication because Fred V he was a guy that really gained a reputation for helping players, develop the 3-point shot. You've seen it with Herb Jones. You've seen what he did with Lonzo Ball, really reconstructed his shot there. Remember, he had this crooked S motion, but Freddie V kind of got there, had reconstructed his shot. So as soon as he has an opportunity,
Shot was in front of his face. Huh?
yeah, it was weird, but he was able to create a reconstruct his shot. Look what he did with Herb Jones. He worked on many players and kind of had them to refine their shooting, and him getting that bump is really pivotal to help out the Pistons. So yeah, this is gonna be cool watching what happens with them. And let's kind of move to another topic, DC, as well.
Are we gonna talk about the topic of the Pelicans actually trading the 21st pick for some future second rounders? I thought that was a really good idea.
No, I wasn't going to bring that up because I ain't.
Compliments of what our man is Christian Clark, I think, actually dropped that news today, man. So kind of look at Christian Clark as maybe a guy that David Griffin would drop some info on if he did plan on doing that. You think?
I don't. And listen, bro, I don't think that's a good
Devontae,
idea.
because of Devontae Graham, we traded was it like 3 or 4 second round picks to get rid of Devontae Graham? Did we forget that? We have no second round picks till 2030.
Yeah, you got a crap load of first round draft picks though. That's a whole nother thing altogether. But like I said,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do with the second round picks? You ain't gonna play them. So I mean, we got a couple of.
I mean, we play Jose, we play Herb. Najee got some minutes. I'm pretty sure second round guys can get minutes because a dude like Jordan Hawkins who was drafted pretty high up there, he didn't play at all.
So them
Definitely
guys,
got to play the second round guys, right?
well, you helping my argument out because if the first round guys don't have a shot, what the hell make you think the second round guys got it? They're gonna be buried. They're gonna be up under the bench.
Well, you get more bites at the apple. You believe in that ideology as far as the draft?
More bites at the apple.
More bites at the apple, Big Q.
Sound like something David Griffin came up with, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
Anyway, we could talk about it, DC. Let's kind of move on and hit some of these other topics and other stuff right here. How about let's talk a little James Borrego, man. We know speaking of loss with Freddie V and of course James Borrego, the report came out here from Hoops Rumor and several other outlets that talked about James Borrego actually sitting down and talking to Cleveland, and that he met with the head of basketball operations, Kobe Altman, and other Cavaliers official a couple of days ago, and also Warriors assistant Kenny Atkinson will follow suit this week, probably as well. And I think they might have even met with him. But Atkinson was identified as a potential front runner as well. And James Borrego is a person that is on Cleveland's radar, and also he was mentioned along with the LA job. So a lot of people feel like Borrego could be a dude that more than likely is going to leave. Now, there was rumors out as well as that if JJ Redick, not saying he does get the LA job, but if he does get the LA job, there was a rumor that was put out there by JJ Redick Well, it wasn't a rumor. It was actually reports that he would have, if he gets the job, that he would offer a job to James Borrego, and also James Borrego is in the hunt for the Cleveland job. So his name is out there ringing as the Pelicans' top assistant. So as we lose Freddie V to be Detroit's top assistant, the Pelicans can also lose their top coaching assistant in James Borrego, who would be looked at as the offensive coordinator for the Pelican squad. So this is also very interesting. DC, go ahead and feel free to chime in on Borrego, man, before we move on to top, because this is another thing the Pelicans eventually have to get shaken on, man.
Yeah, man. You know my standpoint about this, man. We talked before the show. You obviously disagree with my take, but I don't think it's a snowball's chance in hell for James Borrego to go and join and be under JJ Redick, a first year head coach. James Borrego being a guy that coached the team, he was actually in consideration for being the head coach of the same team that he would go join the staff. I don't know, man. That sounds like a lose situation. Knowing that it's the Lakers and the Lakers never promote any of the team, any of the coaches from within the organization. That's not what they do. They make big splash moves or try to, like they tried to do with Dunleavy. Was Dunleavy? How do you say that? You know it, Q.
Yes. Yeah.
The
That
UConn coach.
right. Dan Hurley.
Hurley. Why am I get Dunleavy from? I'm messing that all up. Dan Hurley. So I don't see. Yeah, they messed that up. Offered the man $60 million, which within taxes is basically what he getting paid now. He at UConn, so why wouldn't he just stay where he
They
at?
they dropped
If
the
they
ball.
threw 80 at him, bro, they might have got him. And I ain't gonna lie, man, that would kind of scare me a little bit because I really think that would have worked out. But the Lakers gonna Laker right now. At least they're a middling organization after they won the championship and we've done nothing. Compliments of us for helping them get that. But nonetheless, man, James Borrego is interviewing with Cleveland Cavaliers. I think it's probably more believable that he gets that job than go and joins JJ Redick's staff. If there is another team looking for a head coach out there, I think he comes back for one more year and tries to find his own team. I just can't see him going from one situation where he's underneath Willie Green, a guy that he coached as a player, to go be up under another guy who's younger than Willie Green and even more inexperienced to be a part of, I guess, the whole LeBron thing. I guess maybe if they really feel like they can win a ring and they throw a dump truck full of money at him, maybe. But I don't think it's likely to. But I think it is very highly likely that James Borrego will not be returning to the bench because he will be the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because are we gonna get to that story? Should I
Go ahead and
should
talk
I
about it.
hold it? Q? Okay,
No, talk about it.
because the Cleveland has come out. First, they said they're not trading Darius Garland. They want to keep the core of Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen
Mm-hmm.
together.
Right.
I think this is especially interesting after none other than Mr. James Borrego was interviewed over there by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Did he have a little bit of information on Brandon Ingram that he delivered to the Cavaliers and have a particular vision for those four guys if he were to become the head coach on how he would make it work? I know it's very, very strange. It's a coincidence, I tell you, right, Big Q?
Quite a coincidence. Let me ask this. And this is for the flock as well as the fam here in DC and Lex. By the way, Lex, welcome on in. This will be interesting because how, just from a Cleveland Cavalier perspective, who's better in the mindset? Is JB Bickerstaff better than Borrego? I mean, wouldn't they
I
want
don't think so.
somebody with a name? You know, what do you guys think about that?
It's Cleveland. Like joke, make my joking Noah voice.
You can't say that no more. DC Cleveland got a ring, got a championship ring now, so they're not a bottom feeder.
LeBron got a ring, Q.
That still in all,
Not David Griffin either. And we're seeing that the ring they got had nothing to do with David Griffin, right?
that is true.
It had everything to do with LeBron.
That's
LeBron
true.
ain't there no more. So it's Cleveland.
Our record over the last 5 years proves
What's in Cleveland?
Bro, that 4 years that he was in Cleveland, he's 178 to 101 is something like 70. He's 70 something games over 500 with Cleveland in 4 years. He's been with the Pelicans for 5 years, and he's like 188 and 20 something or other. It's just, and that if that don't show you everything that you need to learn about how impactful was LeBron in terms of team building and players. You know, because he talked about the fact that he didn't enjoy that because he couldn't really be a general manager like he wanted to.
I couldn't mess it up.
You're right.
LeBron wouldn't let me mess it up, so I was miserable.
He was miserable, and he was still every.
He didn't take any of my bad ideas.
But you got Gail. Gail will take all your dumbass ideas, and 5 years of this guy, and no criticism at all of the Pelicans, man. These media people are amazing. Not nobody writing any articles except for the WhoDatDaily.com and PPR talking about 5 years of the administration under David Griffin. You can't run away from that. That's 5 years, and you're resetting the core. Resetting the core means you know what that means. But Lex, I'm gonna let you chime in. How you doing tonight, Lex?
I'm doing all right. Very eventful day. It was hot.
Thanks.
What's going on, DC? How you doing?
I'm good, baby. What you was doing? You said your day was hot. You had a lot going on.
No, it was hot. The sun. It was beaming. Yeah, want to make that clear.
He's over there. He ain't
What'd you say? What'd you say, DQ?
DC ain't. He don't know about no heat. He got palm trees over there. It's just.
Oh yeah, he in
Shit, bro, why you didn't know my palm trees, dog?
Hey, it's right there. Look at him.
Didn't know my palm trees, bro.
There you go. He in the hallway
What's
again.
wrong, man? Why you hitting on my palm trees, bro?
DC, you in the hallway again, brother. Yeah, all right. Show the hallway wall, brother. There you go.
What's going on? Oh, I'm not mine. It's good to see you, man.
Respect.
That's what I'm talking about.
Show your guitar, DC. Show the guitar you got, bro. You did the guitar you bought.
It's gonna be a good night on tonight.
It's a good talk.
That looked like a mic.
Yes, dude, that guy.
Yeah, that's the good talk, man.
That dude, oh man, you should hear him sing.
I see you, Lexxah. You taking it back, huh? You got the braids with the bees in there, huh?
No, I don't
That's
have
what's
any.
up.
I don't have
Oh, what's going on? Oh, my camera must not work good.
It's just white braids.
Oh, all right. It's a different hair color. All right, that's dope. That's unique.
You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah, that looked nice, Lex. DC blind as hell.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was bees, man.
No.
I thought it was bees. I thought she brought back the braids with the bees.
You might need to get some distance from that flower. It might have that's the
eyes. It's the palm tree, bro. It's the palm tree.
You're hallucinating, man.
Contaminated pine tree.
Pine tree. There ain't no pine tree.
You got root rot over there, man. Standing up next to it.
Root rot.
Yeah, you got that tree got fungus, tree fungus. That's what's going on over there. You got tree fungus over there, brother.
Nah, he's smoking.
Where your trees is? See, nah, you killed all your trees and turned them into books, huh?
No, he's smoking. That's what it is. He's smoking.
Big Q killed all his trees and turned them into books.
That's right.
That's for the environment, Big Q.
Stop smoking it, man.
You gotta be in tune with nature, man, over here, man. It's your tree in your house, bro.
What's going on, Mother Tasha? I see you, girl.
Oh, what's up, Tasha? Get your hand out your face, baby. It's all right.
Hey, help DC out, Tasha. Help out. I'm gonna try to get him to read a few things tonight. But Lex, let's talk about a few things. I know you're just jumping in. Mm-hmm. Feel free to share your thoughts on Freddie V, and of course, we're talking about Borrego. We just went over the Borrego thing. Michael Blackstone is also going up there with the Pelicans. So, what are your thoughts on some of the moves that former Pelican personnel are making?
Well, the Pelicans aren't making any type of moves. That's what I mean. no move has been made. It's just been subtraction. There hasn't been any type of addition. It's basically just straight up subtraction. And I kind of feel like it's more so all the right people that are right for the organization, they're leaving, and all the wrong people from the organization are still here.
Damn.
So, like, everything that's going on with the Pelicans is not going for the Pelicans. It's going
Lex,
against.
Mike D'Antoni's still here.
Okay.
Is he?
Okay, man.
I haven't
Like,
heard anything.
We still got Mike D'Antoni, Lex.
you're gonna
Right.
make me start speaking another language. Okay. Ferme la bouche, ici. Ferme la bouche. Ferme la bouche. Okay. No. Okay. All right. Look, that dude is just on the payroll, just getting paid. See, hey, you know what? Hey, you know how we've been talking about the finances, though? Okay, they need to take him off the payroll. Stop being, look, because y'all being expensive in the wrong direction. Y'all being expensive with consultants that ain't doing nothing for you.
Right.
Instead of putting that money towards, assistant coaches or consultants that are actually helping the team. That's what the problem is. You're spending the money the wrong way, because I don't even understand why he's still working for the organization. I really don't. That's awful. You just throwing money away. I mean, that would open up some cap space, wouldn't it? Just saying. That's got to be a few million.
I don't. But see, that's the thing, though. With us, it gets to a point like we know we have some talented people here, but it's a smothering effect. We knew that was with Trajan Langdon. I joked about that constantly. I knew what time it was because I know David Griffin's type. I know what type of executive that he is. I knew that he came here, trying to make a name for himself, and in terms of him being on, I want to do it my way and this kind of stuff. And for 5 years, it didn't end up to nothing.
That man made a name for himself.
That's why I think he Johnny Cash, man. He want to do it his way.
You hear me?
Who, DC? You mean Frank Sinatra?
I thought it was Johnny
Cash. Okay, go ahead, Lex.
Nah, I was just saying, Griff made a name for himself when he drafted Anthony Bennett. That's when he made a name for himself. And that should have been a telltale sign, a red flag for the Pelicans not to get him. Like, you don't make a mistake that big with the number 1 draft pick and draft and didn't nobody see that coming. Nobody saw that coming.
And I told you what he said, right? We had the show on his comment to it. Everybody F's up.
Yeah, basically. Like, that's your excuse, man?
He ain't have great word salad for that. But he came out with simple stuff that time. He was straight shooter on that. But that's what I'm saying is like, okay, how do we fix this? How do we get beyond it? Well, I mean, it's simple. People have to get better. Like Willie Green has to be better at what he does. He has to be faster, more proactive in his approach. He has, if Borrego leaves, they're gonna have to find somebody that's gonna come in there and not only just be a person that sit there, but he would have to kind of pick somebody that he would actually gain game from. It's like I like Willie the person, but the coach he really needs to step it up, especially in the self.
But even if you do, is Willie going to use their knowledge? Actually use the knowledge? I mean, I think that's the thing. It's like, it's one thing to have the resources right next to you, but it's another thing to use those resources. It's just like, look, like you can find anything and everything on the internet. But if you don't go to the internet and do your research, do your homework, you know what I'm saying? Learn the stuff that you're whatever your passion is, it doesn't matter if you have the internet or not because you're not utilizing it. And it's the same thing here. He had Borrego right next to him, and it's like Borrego, his offense didn't even exist a lot of times. Like we saw like spurts of it, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. You know what I'm saying? It was, but it was never consistent at any point. So I mean, and it's just like everything else with Willie. We needed a shooter. Pelicans drafted a shooter.
Yeah,
he didn't use the shooter down the stretch. What good is it to have the weapons, the resources, if you're not going to use them? And then you don't know your personnel well enough to use it.
Then the excuse is
you have to be aware of those things in order to grow.
Lex,
you have to use it.
Lex, you say,
that's
but that's the thing though. The thing is, like when you say what you say about it, a common thing would be, well, his defense was bad, and they would just totally just forget about CJ McCollum and what they were doing to him. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about here? So it's like a lot of this is hatched out, thinking here. Like, man, if you're a regular, you got to expand out and use your imagination. Like we would watch these games, we sit down every one of these goddamn games. We look at the games from, and we get the wins. But the thing that's really killing me about the Pelicans really just really baffles me is the fact that they had that 0-27 mark. We could have been a 50-plus win team, 55, 56 games. Probably if we had fixed that, the Pelicans could have won 60 games this year. We were 0-27 or 28 or whatever the case was.
Lost a lot of leads.
That's right. That is, and to me, that is really crazy that continued to happen. That continued to happen. There was no answer for that. So now with some of the guys leaving, now of course the other half of it would be the Pelicans would then have to bring in personnel to replace, Freddie V. Personnel to come on in here. Had they officially announced that Graham was the guy? I want to say they did. I don't think they did a press conference for it and all that kind of stuff. But the feeling of what kind of general manager would Graham be? What is his philosophy? Is it similar to Trajan Lane?
We don't know, man.
I know this one thing. It's a more quiet approach.
Really?
DC. Yeah.
We call Trajan a mind, man. I think I've heard Graham speak about as many times as I heard Trajan speak. At this point,
you heard 2 interviews. Come on, DC.
I mean,
that's about how many I heard from Trajan.
If anybody in here thinks that Graham is gonna be,
did anybody hear the Detroit interview from Trajan? Because I didn't hear that one.
It's not happening. It's gonna be Griff. Everybody already thinks that Griff is the GM.
Right. Is that going to change?
Yeah, I read an article and they said Trajan Langdon was second in command behind David Griffin in his basketball duties. It's like, what? Damn, that's messed up, man. Even in the article, they're saying it. But hey, they can't say it no more. And I think this is a little get back at David Griffin, man, poaching our people. But the question I was trying to ask you, Lexxah and Big Q, do y'all think maybe this can be an opportunity for Willie Green to show that maybe he has the ability to bring in some other people, or at least if Borrego leaves, he can get another top-notch assistant to join the team. Man, they got so much shakeup going on in the front office. Could we see some more assistants also being shook up as well? They're changing everything else. Why not just change everything? Just do a full renovation.
I don't see no full renovation going on at the assistant coach level. I really don't see that, man.
Wait a minute, Big Q. So you talking about trade packages for Willie Green and Griff?
No, Lex, I'm talking about ways that Willie Green can show that he's actually competent and work being here and maybe show other aspects of him being a coach, like putting the right personnel around him for the things that he's not good at.
DC man.
Damn, that's the game up already.
Okay.
Gotta talk to him with his own language to get him to
Wake up,
understand.
like the fire should not be blazing.
So you don't think that he would have figured something out 3 years in? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about, man? What are we talking about?
I mean, sometimes, the people that it takes them a little while before things go boom in their brain. It might be kaput for a little while, but some take 3 years, some maybe not so long. You just don't know when the fire starts to blaze.
Je ne comprends pas, Dingla. No. Okay.
I don't think you dare to go there with you, Lex.
Okay, look, this dude has had plenty of times and moments to get better. Okay, it hasn't changed.
Only natural, all natural.
You know how in the beginning of the season y'all were saying, I think Willie's improved a little bit, and I was the only one who was saying no.
He did improve a little bit. Come on, Lex.
And then he went back.
Yeah, some improvements. Everything about him wasn't horrible. Like
He went back.
He did have
we saw him attempt to fight his stubbornness and actually make changes. He just didn't stick with them.
The improvement that you guys are talking about is he found something that worked. And then he was like, you know what? I'm going to be hard-headed and I'm going to go back to what wasn't working because I am determined to make that work.
He did that.
Okay? Yes. So the thing is that improvement. But let me say it like this. If you go up two steps, okay? Go up one step and then go up another step. And then you go back down one step and then another step. Is that improvement?
It depends on when I asked you if it was improvement. Did I ask about it being improvement when he first went up 2 steps before he stepped back down?
Did y'all understand?
It's all about when the question was asked.
Did y'all understand?
He improved when he went up 2 steps.
And then you go
the first
up
time.
another step, okay? And then you go down 2 steps. Is that improvement? Come on, y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to use those math skills.
Hey, Lex, when did he come down the other 2 steps? Because sometimes you go up the stairs and you got to come back down the stairs, and then you go back up the stairs.
The 0-27.
He might have went down 2 steps and went up 3 steps the next time. That's a 1-step improvement.
That's what Lexxah describing the 0-27. That's what she's referencing.
Oh Lord.
Come on, man. I mean, is that improvement? Is it improvement when you're going to the you're going to the plan? Is that improvement?
In his latest,
I'm not talking about regular season. Y'all can throw regular season out the window. How many games did they lose in their last few home games? And then they got swept.
Shit, I mean, Willie Green in 3 years only won 2 playoff games? Huh?
Well, let me ask this: if Sacramento wasn't the team, Lex, would they have beaten them?
Huh?
If Sacramento wasn't the team, if Sacramento wasn't, because it was actually we couldn't beat the Lakers. We lost to them in the season finale. We had an opportunity in the plan, the first game of the plan. We lost that one, and then we cycle around to Sacramento and we beat Sacramento because we are in Sacramento's head. We just we got their number. I mean, but if it wasn't Sacramento, would we?
Yeah, you know what? Probably because they went back to practicing in the practice facility. That was so dumb. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it at all for.
But that's textbook Willie, and to your point. That's to your point.
Exactly. Look, I'm not trying to be mean, rude, or anything like that. But from what I've seen, Willie has not shown that he has the ability to grow.
No.
He's been stagnant. He's been stagnant. And really, if you're stagnant, you're not growing. You're actually digressing. That's almost like taking a brand new car off the car lot. It depreciates as soon as you take it off the lot. Okay, and that's what he's doing. It's like you have to be aware, okay? And this is with anything. I always like to relate this to life because if sports and life, there's a connection to it. But the thing is, you first have to be aware that there's a problem. You have to be aware that something needs to change in order to change it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you're an alcoholic or if you have any type of addiction, you have to be aware.
That's right.
You don't think Willie is aware that his X's and O's are subpar and that he's never improved in that department?
If he is, he needs to show. No. He
defensively, can we? All right. Let's ask you.
Have Borrego right there, and then you
defensively. Can you really complain about Willie? Defensively, is there a major complaint about Willie Green defensively?
Yes, because defensively, what happened the last stretch of the season?
They died. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, the way the season ended. Okay. Losing all those home games, okay, getting swept in the playoffs. Come on, man. Like that top 10 defense meant absolutely nothing.
Come on, Sean, bro. Boy Joy.
What did Sean say?
Call the man Boy Joy.
Okay, Sean.
I don't even want to laugh at that. That's kind of funny. Okay. Boy Joy.
I agree with this statement, man. Okay, but we're not being too hard on him. But yes, he is a boy joy.
A boy joy, Willie.
What about a man of compassion? I think that sounds a little better.
Man, boy joy. Look,
Willie's a man of compassion.
Listen. This organization has really embraced mediocrity.
You're right. Yes.
At some point, it's not good enough to just get to the playoffs. Think about this. It's not good enough.
Right.
Stop trying to, Willie won more games each year he's been the coach. Nobody cares about regular season. How you make your name, how you get your respect, how you build a legacy, get your credentials is what you do in the playoffs. I don't care what nobody says. That's why, with all the trades that we've been talking about, Pelicans need to go out and go for that highest level, as high as you can. As high as you can, because I'm not trying to see someone who performs very well in regular season and they don't perform well in the playoffs. I'm not trying to see that. We've already seen that.
Yep.
I want to see a player added to this team that has performed well in the playoffs, because you know what? If they're performing well in the playoffs, guess what they're going to perform well at in regular season? They're going to perform well.
This is true.
Yes.
So you go playoffs. Okay, we know this guy's going to show up in the playoffs. He's definitely going to show up in regular season. And that's what this team needs.
Good comment from my man Jeff Carvello, because they lied to themselves that we're on the right track first in time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not a time, but
it's a slow process.
Let me ask you this. They said changes were coming, right? We always say everything's. Wait, hold up. We always say that everything starts from the top down, right? Yeah. So in the front office and in the head coaching position, if you combine them, we got it's going to be a total of 4 people that are possibly changing, maybe 3 if Borrego comes back, right? Wouldn't that be a positive sign? that maybe
It
that would
depends
shake up
on
some
who.
things with the players as well, because if they're changing things in the front office, and I mean, isn't there a chance that maybe we could have kept one of these guys if we really wanted to? Did we even really try? Are we embracing the change? And would that create some type of change with the players, as far as the team, us trading BI, or maybe trading somebody else we're not expecting, or whatever? Wouldn't that indicate a move in the right direction if they're able to, like you said, sound like you were saying, get the right people in place for the change? So can this be a positive?
It can be, but also, I mean, this could be interpreted as change. We're seeing that, but I mean, but vision. Where's the vision? Because if you, I don't see the vision in unless you see another coach out there that you can bring in. Because if Borrego obviously look like he's looking for another job, a potential coaching
Yeah.
job,
It-
what
And
would be
everybody
the top
seems to be
assistant
trying to
coach?
get away from this place.
Well, that's and the thing is how well, and we've kind of alluded to that. You touched on it, Lex. You talk about mediocrity. The Pelicans in 5 years under David Griffin only made the playoff twice. You know what I'm saying? And this is something when we talk about here, and the Pelicans wasn't a dumpster fire when David Griffin came here. And he did something where he tried to communicate with Anthony Davis about staying here, and he wanted to pair AD and Zion together, which would have been fire, by the way. But AD says nah. And Rich Paul, I'm sorry, Rich Paul and LeBron was in his ear and all this kind of stuff. He wanted to go. But they gave him a windfall, and pretty much would. And I ain't gonna try to steal any more stuff from him, but that kind of remember that trade that they tried to put together with I ain't gonna even get into all that, but man, that would
You talking
remember
about the Celtics?
the Magic Johnson trade. You know what I'm saying? Remember the Magic Johnson trade?
Yeah, we were getting it was the same trade with plus Kuzma.
Right, but at the time, the Magic Johnson trade included Kuzma. It had
That's
Kuzma was
what
a
I'm
better.
saying. It was the same trade with Kuzma too.
All he did was revive what Magic Johnson did. So what really did he do? See, when I start really kind of, when you go back, just start remembering this stuff like we do.
They actually
Go
got
back,
one less player.
go back and start remembering this stuff. And then we get the guy, we bring these other guys here, we ship them out for pieces. And then those pieces didn't work out. Now we shipping these people out for more pieces. 5 years is enough time to see where the Pelicans are. And Lex does a wonderful job to talk about OKC and Minnesota. Minnesota, look where they at. Look what OKC was in terms of progress, because we reset at the same time they basically did. And now the Pelicans are here. It's a consistent playoff team. We don't even have the right mentality to go at it in the playoffs. The defense failed. The road warrior disappeared. And I know a lot of that was over relying on Zion Williamson to be there, but that should be the case if we got a good team, a good bunch of role players, and a good bench to delve into. So like I said, man, it's a lot of stuff the Pelicans gonna have to do, because we talked about the Najee Marshall factor. You're losing Najee Marshall. That's one of your top bench guys right there. Your both 7-footers are not going to be here. Fred Vinson, who could have been a candidate to be the top assistant to place Borrego if Borrego bolts and goes to such and such. So you're going to have to find all these different people. Do you promote from within to fill these roles? Do you go out and find somebody else? And then, like I said, it all comes down to what happens in terms of Willie Green and Bryson. No disrespect to Bryson coming in here, but like I said, I'm not unless he's going to be more vocal and vivid, more vocal and present in terms of being able to say, "Hey, I'm your general manager. You direct all questions to me." I've listened to Bryce. His character don't strike me as that guy that's going to say, "Hold on, Mr. Griffin, I got this. You can go ahead on chill, go play some golf. I'll send you the report when I get done. Let me go ahead on and cook this food." He's not. It don't seem like that to me. But it's still early on. But I'm gonna let you.
We need to see get some more intel from Mr. Bryce Brown. No more interviews out there. Look at his talking points, and that's the only thing I think you can do, man. At this point, we got to sit back and see how they go at things. We don't know what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. We don't know how much freedom he has to do it. If David Griffin gonna be pulling all the strings, but we do know if David Griffin is pulling all the strings, then we in
Right.
for a world of trouble. We know that it ain't gonna do nothing but get worse
But
because it's more pressure on him to
hold on. Hold on.
fill more roles in the front office.
Well, let me ask you this:
What's
how
up?
much? That's an interesting topic that you brought. I mean, a good bit of information. How much rope or leash? How much of a leash does he really have? If we're aware of the 5 years, and they're not going to play it like that, of course. They're not going to play it like, oh, that's growth. See, every year we had more wins than we had the previous. That's wins. When you add
You
it all
can't say that. You can't say that after this year. But with all of these people leaving, do you think that buys him another year? Because you'd be like, well, we lost all of our staff. Da, 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 da. Even though it still would be kind of your fault. You couldn't retain important people that you needed, right? But is that a good enough excuse?
I mean, they're going to play
Even
to.
if we fall through the floor this year. I think anything, it would take for us to lose Zion and get him fired, bro, at this point. Because
That's
if you
another.
look at everything he's done up to this point, I mean, if you had an organization that was truly chasing winning, or owner that was, they would have got him out of here. They would have got him out of here. This Brandon Ingram trade would have been like the last straw for a lenient owner. You know, after he wasted those Devontae Graham picks, and you get Eric Bledsoe, you own your third coach. Things are still not working. The guy who's supposed to be the core, you got to get rid of him. Most GMs, by the time we decided that we have to get rid of Brandon Ingram, man, you know, it's time to get rid of you too because you put your hat in the ring, so to say, for this guy. Like you sold us on him, and this core working out. It ain't never worked. We got rid of Drew Holiday, sent him where he wanted to go. He won a championship. All this we helping everybody and with such a great organization, but where are we? You know, a great owner, and they ain't going for that, man. Dude to be up out of here. Because when you look at his track record with what he did, we got the trade from Drew Holiday. Then he messed up a couple of those picks. You know, go and get Steven Adams. We messed that all up.
Yep.
Then we had to get some more. What did we give up to get Jonas? Didn't we have to trade some picks to get Jonas to fix the mistake with Steven Adams?
I don't remember, but I do remember they had some type of picks and ball. I don't know exactly what they were, but that's how you would be able to send that.
Not getting off Lonzo Ball soon would be looked at as a huge mistake, or being able to recoup more from him. Because I mean, the dude went to the last year of his deal, right? You didn't get a contract signed before then. Like, why didn't you trade him before the trade deadline? Damn sure could have got him. You cannot convince me that the Pelicans could not have gotten Lauri Markkanen from the Bulls. We didn't try. And you had people in here on this show, me and you talked about it, and other people as well. That was in Pelicans chat. Yeah, bring him on. This is a 7-foot dude that can shoot. Man, bring him over here. We were all for it. And they was getting rid of that dude for canned goods at the time. Nobody was stunning on Lauri Markkanen. It's just been so many fumbles and bumbles, bro. Like,
it really is. And it's no pressure.
If the Brandon Ingram trade, if we traded Brandon Ingram for, let's say, just a mediocre package or something like, okay, addition by subtraction, David Griffin should definitely be fired. He should be, because he messed everything up. If you were going to trade him and you knew he was going to be traded, we should have traded him last offseason.
But see, you don't have a competent organization that sits at the top that looks at these people like this. They're going to spin it like every year, and no disrespect to some of these other folk out here.
You can't spend that on nobody on an owner who wants to win, bro. The people ain't buying that shit. Put up. Them people ain't. They're not paying attention. All them excuses, man.
They're not paying attention to that. That's why I'm saying it's up to the faithful and the flock to put pressure on these people, because they don't see it like that. They get paid. They making the money, and now they talking about a building. Now we talking about renovating the building. So I'm like, man, what? So I mean, like they're not even focused on. They think they've got the right decision. This David Griffin character, like I said, all this Trajan Langdon thing did when him leaving to go take that VP job in Detroit. All it does is put a target directly on the problem for this team. He can't run anymore. 5 years. It'll be another 5 years before you finally get him out of the door, based on how the team performs. And listen, are they getting better in what they're doing? Yes, they are, but the way they're doing it is by process of elimination. You make this mistake, X this, cross this one out. Oh, we made that mistake, cross this one out. This mistake, cross. I'm serious. It's process elimination. That's how you ended up with
so we just gonna continue to live life in the moment, huh? We ain't got no plans for our future.
So whatever plan it is, it's not a serious and thorough plan. That's the only ones I care about. I don't care about all this stuff. When that dude started talking, man,
the gobbledygook.
Yeah, all that is nothing but propaganda. That man speak. He's a propaganda mill. That's how he's been trained to speak. He don't, and it's none of it's specific. No, it's all general garbage. Is all general. Is nothing that speaks to specifically how the team is going to be constructed strong and moving forward. It's all about this beautiful human beings and all this kind of nonsense. I don't care about that foolishness, because you created a team for a lot of these people, are choir boys. When they getting their head kicked in, they sitting up there on the bench just staring away, and it don't even appear to even affect them. As long as I get my check, I'm good with it. But like I said, all this is garbage, man. We don't want to see that. I don't want to see all this foolishness about beautiful. And give us a general. Well, I mean, that would have been 5 years in the plan. I would have fired him. If I had the power, I would have fired David Griffin. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If I was the dude that was on top of the team, I would have fired David Griffin already, because he's failed. He failed. You resetting the core. He came in with the core out. He wanted to do this. He constructed these people. He had something to do with that. And the core failed in the way they faced, like, well, we got 49 wins. And even shout out to Antonio Daniels, man. Because Antonio Daniels could have been like David Wesley and has some real close commercial spill on it, but he keeps it real, man. When he watched the games, he watched the season, he sat up there and commentated the whole damn season. And when it came down to the playoffs, he was sounded like with the PPR crew. He sounded just like them. He's like, the way you performed in the playoffs, when you went down 0-4, the way you went down in the playoffs, that right there just took everything. Right. It took all of the strength of the season, all of the positive of the season away. But the propaganda mill that is the octopus will say, no, we got 49 wins. That's the second most we've had, and there's such and such, because the Pelicans, listen, no disrespect to our
major changes are coming to you.
We Pelicans haven't been that good over the years. Like, I got upset with Stephen A. Smith talking that shit, but Stephen A. Smith, balding ass, is right. He's right about the Pelicans have been mediocre for years. We'll win, we'll get here, and then we'll drop off here, and there's no reason for us to be that bad. Like, we held on to Dale Demps for years. For years, we had a chance to get Joe Dumars. That's how the VP job was created. They didn't have a VP job. Created the VP job for Joe Dumars to lure him here. And when they came down to him to pay the cost to get Joe Dumars, who has a resume as a Hall of Famer, who won on the court, and he's also won as an administrator, as an executive. He had and when it came down to, you know what Tom Vinson did? Tom Vinson said no, he didn't want to pay his price, and turned around and gave a goddamn job to Dale Demps. That's what kind of foolishness you're dealing with here. I mean, you can't have that type of mentality. Like, even we get mad. People don't like the Lakers. Let me tell you something, man. You might not like the Lakers, but the Lakers always up into some shit. They're always trying to pull something off. They always trying to try, even if it don't work. They trying. They try. Like the Vanderbilt. Remember a couple of years ago, they had all them second round draft picks, and they got Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba, and all these people. I'm like, how the hell they did that? With just second round picks. Them people try hard to win, and they don't sit there and settle. They don't settle with mediocre and bullshit coaches and people that don't have no resume, who learning on the job, who at this development after 3 years are better as assistants. No disrespect, but I want a coach that is an X and O strategist that's gonna go at Jason Kidd, That's going to challenge Rick Carlisle. That's going to, try his best to go at Popovich. That's going to strategize against guys like Coach Bud and all these other guys in the game. These guys, what the hell they doing? I want somebody that know what that's going to do that. Not somebody that just sits there and just be stubborn and goes away from things that don't work, don't take all. I mean, come on, man. That's what I'm talking about here. But anyway, go ahead, Lex. I want you to chime in because you ain't say nothing. But listen, I'm going to leave the story right here about DC mentioned this to me about the Pelicans. Must add Mike D'Antoni to the bench. I'm like, Mike, is he still working for the team? I mean, I don't even know, like, Mike, how is Mike D'Antoni's offense with Willie Green's defense?
We the New Orleans Phoenix Suns, bro. That's what we're going. That's what we headed to.
Man, I don't even know, bro. Because I don't think I know he was like a person that was an advisor or something like that. But I mean, every now and again I see him with the team. But is he the top assistant for the role? I mean, but go ahead, Lex. You go ahead and chime in.
I agree with everything that y'all saying. It just seems like a lot of the same things. When we talk about, the Pelicans organization, anything, I know DC said earlier, it could be a good thing as far as guys leaving because it opens up opportunities.
Right.
The thing is that those opportunities have to be capitalized the correct way. The opportunities don't mean anything if you bring in the wrong people. And then if you do bring in those people, if you're not using them at all or correctly, it becomes null and void. So there's a double whammy to all this stuff because you can bring in the correct people. We talk about the trades. We can trade for the right player that will fit with the team and everything. But again, if they're not used correctly, and we talk about this all the time with Jonas, what good is it for them to be here or be in a situation? And a lot of that has happened. It's a two-way fold to this. But one thing is you all were talking, I'm going to use a quote from Remember the Titans. Attitude reflects leadership. And we talk about the top as far as really setting that foundation of leadership. If you don't have leadership in your decision making, in your actions to help progress the team, not degress, but progress. Okay. Like all that, it ties in with each other. It's one thing. It's like a chain reaction. It hurts everything. Financially, you're not making winning plays. You're not making winning decisions. If you make a trade, you trade Brandon. Like, this isn't something that you can't drop the ball on this. Like, the foundation has to be winning in your mentality, winning in your decisions, winning in all your actions. Because right now, even with D'Antoni, where's the winning in that? How is this team winning with him being on the payroll? And he ain't doing nothing. He ain't at the games. He's not, where I don't see the consultation. Last time I checked consultation, there's action incorporated in consultation, right? When you're
like a therapist, it's done in private.
But it's like they're the leadership. And look, I know that a lot of people have talked about, the mistakes of Zion and his decision making or not being active as far as with interviews or whatever it is. And you can say really just about anybody. You can call out all their mistakes. But the thing is, where's the leadership for these young players? Where is it?
That's point.
Who's helping to groom them? Because you don't come to the league at 18 or 19, you know everything there is about to know about the business. Nobody does. And that's not an excuse. That's for anybody. especially not named a player overseas. Because a lot of the players that come from overseas, guess what, people? This is a newsflash for you. They become professionals at the age of 13. They become professionals at the age of 14, 15, 16. Over here in the States, it's not like that. I say that because guys that come over here that are 18 or 19 coming into the NBA, they are more ready than guys here in the States because they've been around grown men, professionals, teaching them how to be professionals. I mean, that's what you have. That's why you have a guy like Doncic who is ready to go. You have a guy like Wembanyama who's ready to go. Like, these guys are ready. And it's not the fact that they've become professionals at 13. They're around grown men that have strong mentality, strong identities, and they're teaching these guys. They have help. That's a part of it. That's a part of it. Again, attitude reflects leadership. So whatever the attitudes that you get from this team, whether it's Zion or different players or how they're responding, guess what? You can't just focus on the sheep without looking at the leader, the head of the snake. Let's keep that in mind. You can't look at the flock, and guess what? Hey, y'all know how it is. Let me tell you something. Nobody in their right mind is trying to focus on the flock. They want to go for the top dog. Leadership.
Yeah, Lex, that's the thing. Pelicans hired Mike D'Antoni in August of 21 as a coaching consultant to assist Green, a first-time head coach. D'Antoni was named the NBA's 2004-05 and the 2016-17 Coach of the Year. While with Phoenix and Houston, it could provide a calming, known voice in the locker room. D'Antoni lacks an NBA championship, but the 7 seconds or less architect is bound for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame as a coach and overall contributor to the game. Those 7 titles in Europe cannot be ignored for the career ladder climb. Titles are titles wherever they are won, and D'Antoni has constructed winning offenses. Those teams just lack the kind of defenses Green is known for crafting. Taking a bigger role with the Pelicans would bring some added pressure and stress for the 73-year-old. However, personal observations during summer league action suggest that D'Antoni is fine taking a backseat during live game action. Green is young enough to do the required yelling, while the elder statesman can just gets in and enjoy leading detailed practices. Another good point about this is that when the Pelicans hired Stan Van Gundy, I wonder why they didn't look at a guy like Mike D'Antoni. Even I wouldn't have been really excited about that, but still at the same time, that's a better pick.
That would have been a better choice than Van Gundy.
And that Stan ain't done nothing. Another of Griffin's flubs. But this is something interesting. I would be for that. For Mike D'Antoni's offense, Willie Green's defensive acumen. It makes sense. The article makes sense about having a guy like him added to Willie Green's staff in a larger role. I mean, he's a head coach before multiple times, and he would definitely serve in that capacity. And you could use a guy in that offensive capacity. So,
and you know one thing I love about it, Q?
Yes,
the fact that Willie Green would be forced to listen to him because Mike D'Antoni is tied in with David Griffin. So if he says he wants the offense to do this, do that, blah, 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 it's going to go exactly like that. He basically be a secondary coach. He'd be somebody to basically put a steering wheel in Willie Green back and guide him in the right direction and make sure he makes the correct place, because Offensively, that's his biggest flaw. Situational basketball, Willie Green is not good at. But if you just let him handle the defense, and then Tony can kind of whisper in his ear on the offense, because it's not quite like football. I mean, basketball is so fluid. You got to handle the offensive concepts and defensive concepts as the head coach. It ain't like you can just turn it over. But I think Mike D'Antoni can be there to make sure he does the simple things right. You put Jordan Hawkins in at these minutes. Call the timeout here. Run this play, Willie. Been setting him up all game for that. And I think Willie would have to listen. It wouldn't be a situation maybe like Borrego's where it's open to interpretation. Because if Willie Green isn't, you got David Griffin basically on the bench in Mike D'Antoni, in my opinion. That would be his way to micromanage Willie. Which, I'm not ecstatic about that idea. But don't you think that would yield better results than what we're getting right now?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, you make a point about, but that's the thing. I mean, I think he, to a degree, Willie would listen, but I don't think that gets rid of the stubborn gene that Willie has. That's the problem. It's we label it out, we run it out. Like, what's the problem? What's the problem with Willie Green? Well, he's slow to adjust. He's stubborn on a lot of stuff. When stuff is working, he tends to go away from it. He favors more defense for offense when you're supposed to be more of a balanced coach to understand your team. He doesn't know his team properly. He has to be able to give more opportunities to these young guys. Personally, they're not just undrafted. I'm talking about first round draft picks with capital on them. You got to play these guys to develop them. It's like people get upset about that Dyson's game is not offensive game is not as mature as his defensive game. But a lot of times, a lot of this has to happen. He has to be able to develop that, on the floor. He has to give them the proper amount of time to do that. He has to trust these younger guys better than what he does. That whole thing when you just got rid of Jordan Hawkins, and it's this whole thing about people saying, "Oh, you seen his defense," and then don't even look at C.J. McCollum. How he was getting cooked out there.
That kills me. I'm tired of everybody.
They can't make that parallel.
Yeah, everybody piled on BI, man. Like CJ looked horrible.
Just told
in the playoffs as well. Nobody said anything.
None
it's all BI fault. I'm like, what the hell? All of them look bad, to be honest, but it's just amazing how you get a scapegoat and put everything on this person or that person. Man, it's a culmination of things going on. And it starts with coaching, and the coaching issue starts with the front office. So even putting that in place. So, man, we got a lot to do. A little bit of time to do it. And shout out to the New Orleans Pistons. You know what I'm saying? So we got the New Orleans Lions and now the New Orleans Pistons. It is very interesting that Detroit keeps swooping in and taking people from our organization and starting their things from the ground up. Now, what would be really funny is if all of that works for Detroit and they start winning the same way the Lions did.
Well, that's confirmation that something systematically is definitely wrong. Like
majorly wrong.
Yeah, it's just wrong. Like we talked about how Mike Malone, he was with the Pelicans organization at one point in time. Dell Demps, he was with the Pelicans organization at one point in time. So was Finch. He was with the organization. And then as far as players, NAW, Drew Holiday. You know what I'm saying? Look at their situations right now. Regardless of what they did with the Pelicans, whether it was good, decent, bad, look at their situation. Oh, shoot, Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they've gone on to do better. And whatever they're doing, and that's a lot of different dynamics of what they bring to the table, whether it's in the front office or on the court. Notice I said on the court. I'm not talking about that community crap. Everybody does that. No, for real. Mm-hmm. Everybody does that.
That makes you good.
I'm tired of all that. He's doing this in the community. Dude, that's a tax write-off. Stop it. Stop it. I know. No, come on now. We know how this stuff works.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
it looks good. It's PR. It looks good. You make all the money in the world. Of course, you're going to give back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their charity organizations. That's a tax write-off. So
True.
stop it with the community junk. I don't care about that because that's what comes with your job anyway. That's mandatory. It's standard. The thing is that when like the court and the front office and all those things that really, because all the fans ask, put a winning team together. Put a good product on the floor so that we can enjoy the game that we love, the game that we're passionate about. It ain't about compassion. It's about the passion for the game. And there's the passion in what you hear in my voice right now. And then there's, compassion. We don't want that compassion. We want the passion.
What about togetherness, Lex?
Stop.
Together.
We all together.
That's what's on the wall. Together's on the wall.
Togetherness.
You see what everybody's done once they leave this organization. And it's like they're doing well. So basically what you're saying is you're wasting people's careers when they come to the Pelicans?
Yeah. You know what, Lex? That's interesting.
We're a farm team. That's the other analogy. Go with.
Well, you're formerly.
There's a reason for that, though. There's a reason for that, DC, and I don't think it's because everybody wants to pick it. No, it's because hey, they got some pieces over there. They don't know how to use them.
That's
right.
They
don't know what to do with their weapons. They don't know how to let that guy. They don't know how to delegate.
Nope.
They don't know how to do that stuff. You know what? Hey, let's see. You know what? Oh, okay. Yeah. We want to get Trajan. Yeah, we gonna delegate, man. We gonna give you the power to do what you do, and we're not gonna microscope or hover over you or anything like that. We're not gonna do that. We are gonna let you do your job, and whatever you feel, because we believe in you. That's why we hired you. We hired you because we believed in you.
But Lex, you know what? That's a lot of great points. Stephanie asked the question, do y'all think the organization is cursed? I don't think the organization is cursed. I don't think
the organization.
I don't think they're not cursed. They mismanaged.
It's horrible basketball management decisions. And
they mismanaged.
I hate to say it, man. It's really a conundrum that we're in when you look at Miss Vinson and just the whole the Saints and the Pelicans are the same. Like they both have these issues. You know what I'm saying? And it starts up there. We got nobody putting the foot. Somebody said in the chat, I don't remember who you is, but shout out to you. But they said nobody has a foot on the neck of David Griffin.
Nope.
It's Miss Vinson's fault. And it's the same thing with the Saints. There's nobody with a foot on the neck of Mickey Loomis. And so if you look around,
they are straight hustling, Gail Vinson.
Right. I just, some of it is hustling, but some of it is just it's complacency. Like I don't think it always. David Griffin, I think, is intentional, but Mickey Loomis just then became complacent and lazy because he's just had that position for so long. And you look around the league, right? No pressure. You look around the league, teams that are winning in the NBA or the NFL, man. What do they have? They have competent ownerships that have a certain standard and precedence that they set of what they're going to allow and what they're not going to allow. And success and winning is looked at as necessary. You have a certain timeline, a certain ability to be able to get things in order, but they kind of have an idea on how long it should take to get things in order. You can't be a team that's trying to be winning for 6-7 years. You're trying to rebuild. No. After about 3 years, maybe that fourth year, you're supposed to be an ascending team that's putting everybody on notice. Right. And when that doesn't happen, that means you did some things wrong. It shouldn't take you 6, 7 years to finally get to a point where you're winning and actually contending for a championship. It's a difference between winning it, but to even be contending for it, you can't take 6, 7 years before you're
Yeah,
contending
you got to be a
to win
contender
a
first.
championship because you got to spend another couple of years in the contending stage usually before you're even able to win it. So
Now
it's going to take you 10 years as a
nah,
front office to get
yeah,
everything together to finally win a ring. That's what the owner's supposed to believe. No, after you haven't been able to do it at a certain amount of time, it ain't going to happen. And I got to cut my losses and move on. So if you don't have this type of ownership or somebody who has the ability to have the power over those people that are in place, even if it's not the owners, because some of the owners, maybe it's not them. Maybe they have other people that strategize, they listen to, that they delegate to, like Lex was saying, because delegation actually makes you more powerful. When you have people that are control freaks and they want to control everything, there's no way you can possibly be great at everything. You
Can't.
have to find other
That's why
people that
CEOs
are
hire.
great at things you're not. And you have to delegate the power for them to be able to do what they need to do, man. So I just don't think we have any pressure on Griffin. Miss Vinson is a very sweet lady. I kind of wish they had somebody around. Maybe she had a son or somebody that could come in and help and just have more of that dog mentality injected into our ownership group to not allow like you were saying, like people just come in and be taking advantage of her, just sitting up there collecting checks and doing
Because
the same shit year after year after year, man. And as long
but
as the money is coming in, it's okay. But what's gonna happen though? If you keep doing that, at what point does the fan base they don't believe in it anymore? They don't believe in the team, and then the money dries up, and then it's gonna take you several years to try to fix that, and it all blows up eventually anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's 100% true. I mean, but the issue is, even with Gail Benson not knowing about football or basketball, the second guy in command is Dennis Lauscher, and he's supposed to know about basketball, and he don't know about basketball. So he hires David Griffin, and everything runs through David Griffin. He's not challenged. It's the same garbage philosophy that this is a loser. This is a loser situation. You're going to cap out at a certain height. You're going to cap out, and then they're going to just spread the BS. And they got people weak enough that'll go for it. But we ain't do such and such before. It's because you got a sorry ass leadership group here, man. You shouldn't be good with this man's been here for 5 years. He been for 5 years. Don't you understand how farther along you're supposed to be? You're supposed to be a lot further along than 49 wins. It's comparing us to our bullshit past. We had a lot of great players. This organization is supposed to be a lot further along than where it is. This man's been here for 5 years. And Langdon's gone, so there is nobody to stop him from getting these arrows. And the only people that's putting pressure on these people is not Gail or Dennis Lauscher or anybody. It's us. It's us putting pressure on him. This guy's been here for 5 years. It's a half a decade. He been here, and you got 49 wins and the blew out in the playoffs. And
Nothing, man.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Even like I said, Antonio
19 more wins than what we had probably before he got here. That's all he's done.
And the
In
difference
one
is,
season.
and with 4 years with Cleveland, he was 178 to 101. That was his record as a general manager in Cleveland with LeBron James.
That was LeBron record, Q.
That was LeBron's record. That's right. And it proves it. In 5 years with the Pelicans, he's 188 and 200 and something. I'm like, he's a sub 500 record in 5 years that he's been here. Where he came in, the Pelicans. No, he came in, kept Gentry. He's supposed to fire him. I told him when he came in, I was like, that's a dumbass decision. That's questionable. No smart general manager or an accomplished guy would have done something so stupid. You could look at Elvin Gentry. He had plenty of time to look at Elvin Gentry to see that he wasn't who you needed to be here. And then he fires him and grabs Van Gundy, who hadn't coached in years. That's another dumb move. That wasn't Trajan Langdon doing that. Come on. Trajan Langdon wouldn't have, all the coaches that Trajan Langdon would have looked for, he wouldn't have went and looked and found no damn Stan Van Gundy who was on NBA TV, who hadn't coached in years. He wouldn't have done that. And then by year 3, you go and get Willie, and the contracts of year 1 and 2 impacted how much you was going to pay your coach in year 3. So you got stuck with a rookie coach who's still learning on the job with a team that's you got demands to win right now to be a strong playoff team. So I'm saying, man, these are bad decisions, not to mention the smaller decisions like not getting the physical therapist, all this stupid ramp up nonsense, not putting pressure on the coach where he can be able to make sure he plays the first round draft pick shooters and guys, even the veterans like a Matt Ryan that we bring in here, playing these guys, challenging him to use his bench more. How I'm about to say something. How you restricting the team? Talk about restricting the team. You got injured players. What sense that make, fool? You're not supposed to restrict the damn thing if you got people that's hurt. You're supposed to open up your bench and use them people to the best of your ability, which he didn't do the entire year. He had shooters that he refused to use. He had length that he refused to use, and he overused and misused people. That's what a young coach that don't know what he's doing did. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just ridiculous, all within its face. If you look at a Phoenix went and fired Vogel, who has a championship ring, with LeBron in the bubble.
And he made the playoffs. Got fired.
He pushed the Pelicans out of there. The Lakers were better than the Pelicans. They pushed the Pelicans out of there, forced them out of there. And then they fired Vogel, the Suns, fired Vogel, and then hired Budenholzer, whatever his damn Coach Bud. Hired
paid him too.
Paid him $10 million a year for 5 years, $50 million. Paid him. So like it's just amazing to me, man. There's so many other coaches I believe that would do a better job than what we got with this guy. And that's what happens. These are the decisions that impact the long-term success of your team. Because now everything is on Willie Green to improve as a coach. He got it, and we done broke Willie Green to a science. Willie Green ain't hard to figure out. We done dissected Willie Green.
Let me ask this question though, because we didn't beat up on Willie Green, rightfully so in a lot of cases.
But DC
do you think? It's just a simple question. Hold up, he should be beat up on. Like, I mean, we point out the truth. But do you think if Willie Green went to a different organization, maybe that was better set up for success, it would be a different outcome with him, or it would be the same thing?
I still say he'd be stubborn. I mean, that's
his ways, and he doesn't adjust well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If he goes to a team that has a strong personality, like Star, like, you know what I'm saying, who knows the game. Like, think about if Rondo was on this team.
They were Darvin Ham and Adrian, what's his name? The other Adrian from Milwaukee. That would have happened to him with a strong start. Yeah. They'd have ran him off.
And the thing is, Adrian was actually winning. They were like 30 and like 10 or something, or 9, like something ridiculous.
They ran him off.
Yeah. They got rid of him. And he was finding a way, at least he was finding ways to win. And then when Doc got there, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know the result. You know,
they weren't healthy, like us.
You know what? That's
they ran them off.
You think somebody's gonna really pay attention to that excuse when they got named? That was like, hey, we trying to win a championship. Now what they can realize.
But let's. I'm not giving Willie a pass because it ain't no pass. But let's be real though. If your star player, because this is really the standpoint I see that I think needs to be improved majorly, and it ties into the physical therapist and the chef and all of that. And Lex saying guys being from overseas, 13 being professionals, it ties in. If your star player gets hurt on any team in the NBA, man, like, you're not gonna be contending for a championship anymore. That's just facts. If anybody's best player goes down, you're not contending for a championship. Maybe you could stay in the thick of things and make it a little interesting, but you don't see that happen, right? Our best player on our team has been hurt every year.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
I think some of it is obviously on the player, right? A big onus is on the player, but because Zion is so young, I think a huge part of it is on the management because I don't think they put the right things in place for him to be able to adjust and adapt to the NBA. And they didn't force enough things on him that are necessary. It's like you go from college to where everybody's on you, making sure you're doing what you got to do, kind of thing, you know. And then he gets to the NBA, he just got free reign. And Zion, at that point in his life, wasn't ready for all of that freedom to be able to make all the choices that he had to make in order to ensure he's the best professional he needs to be. And you couple that along with giving him horrible vets. One of the vets he had in JJ Redick probably thought he had somebody he can confide in or trust in. The dude actually went to Duke, went on goddamn TV and started calling him a detached teammate and all of this. And we wonder why he has issues when you talk about psychologically and the guys getting depressed. We've put him in a horrible position to succeed as a 19-year-old coming into the NBA. People say, "Oh, you can't baby him. You got to take the baby and off of Zion." We had to have a baby.
That's what the problem was.
He needed to be baby a little bit in the beginning to be matured and brought up and showed how to do the simple things.
DC,
like
I gotta disagree with you, man.
He gotta be. He need a vet Lex to show him how to take care of his body, and it can't be Charles Barkley talking on goddamn TV. There's got to be somebody in the locker room. You're supposed to have an example of what you're supposed to be in front of you.
Okay, DC.
Referee, it ain't Stephen Hampton in this mouth, bro. He got professor. Come on, man.
No, that is true.
The situation that you come into really does matter. Okay.
Yeah.
Ask the child who's born to a rich family.
Did anybody got a tap dancing emoji?
Born to, you know what I'm saying? Like it matters.
Tap dancing emoji.
Zion came into a bad situation.
Tap dancing emojis in the chat, man. For DC was doing all that tap dancing. Go ahead, Lex.
Wait, hold up, stop. Stop, hold up, Lex. Hold on, nah, he can't say that shit. And then, no, I need to ask him, what am I tap dancing on? Because I'm saying you didn't put him in the right position to succeed. He still got to go out and handle his damn business.
No, DC, real quick.
We didn't even have a goddamn physical therapist, and the dude keeps getting hurt. How are you putting him in the right position to succeed? We don't have a chef. We know he had eating problems. Like, you're doing nothing to help him address what you need him to address. When you see that he has an immense talent that's better than most people in the league, man. Like, y'all don't see the organization as being as just as much at fault for that. We're not helping that. They finally implemented the thing in the contract, which I think was good to make him stay under a certain weight. But you see, you got a problem. You picked him number one. You invested everything in him. You're not going to do your absolute possible best to make sure it works out. All right, we'll put it like this. Since you say I'm tap dancing, imagine Zion on the goddamn Miami Heat. They probably would already run a championship already. Q.
He did.
I think you're a mariachi band, DC. You got your tap dancing and you got the
mariachi band.
Yeah.
Look,
I think you full of shit. But go ahead, Lex.
No, like the thing is that do you all understand that Zion understood pressure? He understood that. He was at Duke.
Right.
They played Duke's game on national television, every single game, with the exceptions of one. Okay? The pressure was already on him. When he got to the Pelicans, they rescinded that pressure. They did that. They should have maintained that same pressure on him. You know why? When you add pressure to a diamond, diamonds need pressure.
Bring out that clarity, baby.
Okay? So the thing is, you have a generational talent and you're going to rescind the pressure? That makes absolutely no sense. someone who is already ready to go and you rescinded it. Griff said this. He said, we don't want to put too much pressure on Zion. Are you high? He's the number one freaking pick. He's not Anthony Bennett, retarded freako. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not Anthony Bennett. This is Zion Williamson. That was the dumbest statement that you could have made. He came in, again, attitude reflects leadership. He came in and put a horrible attitude on Zion because he rescinded the pressure. They babied him, and they didn't have to do that because he already came in with pressure. The last guy to come in with the hype of a LeBron James is Zion Williamson.
Well, maybe I think I agree with everything you're saying, Lex, and that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Maybe I used the wrong word, and we should have babied him.
I'm just
that's
saying
what I'm saying. I think the organization should have.
I was just saying, like, look, they shouldn't have babied him. They shouldn't have did that. They should have put that pressure. Hey, man, Zion, we're building around you. We want you to be the guy. We want you to carry this team. Let's go. They should have got the physical therapist immediately. You go and get the things that he needs right away.
You get a chef too. You get a chef. You get all of that. Day one.
They should have did that for their number one pick generational talent. They were not prepared for a generational talent. And to put that blame on Zion is not fair. Because let me tell you something. When they picked up Wembanyama, who took him out to eat? It was Parker. It was Tim Duncan. It was Robinson. It was Manu Ginobili. They took that dude and they went and nurtured him. That's leadership. That's leadership. He came into a situation where, you know what, we're going to make sure you're ready, Wemby. We're going to make sure. And we going to call upon all the Hall of Famers. We gonna call upon your fellow Frenchmen. We gonna get all of them together, and we gonna put into you so that you can absorb that winning culture, that winning habit, so that you can be great. And at the worst, not just great, but greater than what we were, greater than a Tim Duncan. That's what they did. Who did the Pelicans bring in? Who did the Pelicans bring in of that caliber, of that respect, to help groom a player like that? Isn't that what you want to do with your number one pick? That's a generational talent. Everybody was saying it over and over and over and over and over and over again. It didn't get through your thick skull. That's what you do with your players. That's what you do with the perennial piece that's coming to your organization. Griff, guess what? Zion is supposed to be the savior of the team. Y'all remember when he said that? Oh, we don't want Zion to be the savior. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes. Best believe, man, don't say to a Spurs fan that Wemby ain't the savior of the Spurs. Don't you dare say, come on now. Come on.
That's right.
That's why you draft that guy at number one. That number one pick is supposed to come into your organization and change things around. Why do you think the usually the losing teams or the lower tier teams get the number one pick? And you talking about he ain't the savior. Yes, that's why. Then you know what? Don't pick Zion at number one. Don't pick him at number one. Pick Xavier Tillman at number one. Pick him. Pick that Jared dude who went to Texas. Not Texas, it was one of them Texas schools. Pick him. Pick him at number one. But don't pick Zion. If you don't want a savior, someone to help raise your organization up, don't pick at number 1. Trade that number 1 pick to somebody else who does need a savior. Okay? And you get somebody like, maybe in the second round, pick them in number 1. You're not doing him any justice. You're not doing him any justice. You really not.
Yeah, Lex, I agree with you on that. I'm just picking at DC, but I hear what he's saying.
Yeah, you just being evil at this point. Because like, what am I tap dancing on, man? That's what I'm saying. The organization messed up with Zion. They should have had a way better approach. I don't disagree with anything Lex saying. I used the wrong word in saying baby, and I guess that's what triggered you. And now you got this dude up here with these ashy ass ankles talking about I'm tap dancing.
I just feel
never, man. My ankles would have been nice and moisturized, man. They darker than that too.
Everybody says Zion is being.
DC, you cutting it up on that floor, boy.
I stay out in the sun all day. I look like that dude, man.
Boy, DC, you cutting the rug, boy. Look at you, boy.
Just in his dreads, man. I look like that.
That boy, that cutting the rug. There, boy, there ain't no rug to cut. Boy, go ahead, DC.
Man, that's your distant cousin out there doing that.
DC got happy feet. That's what I said.
Oh, that go Tasha. Natasha always got something to say.
Go ahead, DC. Go ahead, brother. DC. Go, DC.
All right, it's over with you. You did better with the Michael Jackson moonwalk up there.
All right, anyway, let's move on, man.
But nah, it's we can move on in a second. But I agree with Lex's points.
Let's move on, bro. I'm really enjoying your tap dance.
You just hit me with the tap dances, so I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say.
Hey,
anyway, I agree.
Because he said
they don't have
any formal championship players, and you're right, they don't.
They don't have to. Well, they don't have to. But everybody we would have sent to the dinner is we shipped them out of town, right?
You know what I'm saying? It can be veterans that are well respected. Just shoot.
Like who's gonna send the dinner with Zion?
It's a great thing to have. But they should have had something in place. It's like you in the NBA.
We gonna send David Wesley and Antonio Davis?
No, you send a physical therapist with a bowl of salad.
We didn't have a physical therapist, Q.
Send Aaron, what's his face?
That's awful. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, man. If we would have done things differently with Zion, especially handing the team over to him, will we have the issues we have with Brandon Ingram, or will we have to move on from him sooner? Would Drew Holiday have wanted to leave? Would Lonzo Ball have wanted to leave?
Hey, DC, let me ask you a question. When you was tap dancing, do you throw salt on the floor or you just go for what you know?
No, I just throw salt on your ass. That's what I do. I look for a big narrow-headed dude like Big Q, and I just throw salt on him.
See, that's a hater. That's a hater throwing salt in the game right there, bro.
Hater. You don't want hating.
I'm saying, bro.
You hating on that man excellent tap dancing skills.
Now I'm saying, do you throw salt on the floor?
You are hating. Why don't you ask Gregory Hines or whoever that was? Go ask him.
I'm just asking the question, brother. That's all I wanted to know.
What you putting salt on? You trying to cast away cast spells or something? What you doing? You putting salt on the floor? You putting in a circle? That's what the Sandman. What you talking about?
That's who taught you how to tap dance. The Sandman. Remember from Apollo? He throws salt on the floor.
He taught your ass how to tap dance. That's before my time. I don't know nothing.
Hey, bro, don't make me bring up because I do that. I'm the president.
You do all that.
I'll bring up the goddamn salt for the floor, DC. I'll bring it up.
You go get some salt. Make sure it's sea salt at it.
Y'all heard
of it. Make sure it got iodine in it. Make sure it got iodine in it. Necessary nutrient.
Challenge.
Get the right salt. Don't get the fake salt now. But I was trying to make my point, but you wouldn't let me.
I'm sorry, DC. Look at this. DC feet on this one. Boy, look at DC, boy. DC, go ahead, boy. Look at him. DC, man, boy, you better than Lamont Sanford tapping, boy. Look at that. Boy, look at him. Look, Lex.
He's showing your age, bro.
Lex, look at that. 1 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot. Oh, DC moving. Boy, that's a cold brother there. DC got man of many talents, brother. Shout out to UMC
Hey,
DC,
Q,
brother.
what's going on with your internet, bro? Your video is freezing. It'd be a lot more funny if you ain't had all them little
I think
stops
you
in your
messed.
video.
I'm gonna find.
Hey, got
I'm
your
gonna try.
shit on the horizon right now.
Are y'all finished? Are y'all finished going back and forth?
Tasha say I smell a change. We need to have a tap off. Q, go get your platforms, bro.
On task
Challenge.
right
Have a
now.
tap off.
Challenge.
You need to focus.
A tap off.
Yeah, let's keep it Pelican. So
we need to stay focused.
We're gonna let Lex. We're gonna let Lexxah
what do we do?
dance.
What do we do this year to ensure that the Pelicans are able to
I got a question. Hold on, DC. I got a
right the
question.
ship?
Okay, hold on, DC. I got a question.
I was in the middle of asking questions, but go ahead.
I know. I
Ask your daggone question, man.
Go ahead, Q.
So we talked about the assistant coach dilemma, and they had this article right here that I was talking about, mentioned several names that are very interesting in terms of assistant coaches. But when we talk about, because that's definitely obvious, even though it's not official with James Borrego, we do understand that much that he could at some point, he could still go. It looks like to me that he's going to be gone. So at some point, we're going to have to bring in people to kind of upgrade the team. But it seems like to me, the Pelicans more than likely are going to probably kind of, elevate guys from within the organization. So let's start right there. That's a quick question. Then we'll go into the personnel, to the players, and then we'll go down to the list of some of this other stuff that I want to show y'all from this article right here. Then we'll get ready to leave the stream. Because, by the way, y'all, tomorrow we'll have the call-in section of the show so y'all can chime in on that. So, Tasha said I think DC would beat BQ in the tap off. Yeah, I think you're right, man. He got the tap well. So shout out to DC. I think he beat me in the tap off.
Man, you ain't seen Q. You ain't seen the penny loafers that Q got. He got some real special tap shoes, and I'm telling you, that boy is special.
Can we get a preview on tomorrow?
Young Gregory Hines, man.
Now for real, y'all go, be on the camera and everything, and y'all set up, and we'll set out. I'll be the mediator. No, we want to see you, DC. We want to see it. Okay.
Well, I mean, I ain't got my platforms right now.
Maybe you know what? Instead of the tap dance, we can do the Schwala Bombing. How about that?
The who? The what?
Yeah, the dance challenge. You know what I'm saying? Why don't y'all do that? Yeah, that would be dope. No.
What's going on?
Oh my gosh.
He rapping and tapping. That's a whole nother rapping and tapping, boy. You got the game figured out.
Kind of simplified, DC.
Rap and tap.
Don't get him going. He ain't gonna stop.
No. I'm saying, but let's talk about that though, because that needs to be something that the Pelicans handle. Now we know that losing these guys, man, that's gonna hurt a bit. So we have to think about, who do you guys think will be replacements for some of the guys, or do we promote from within? What do you think?
Didn't you have some of the names in the articles? Who they were suggesting? Because I'm interested in knowing like who's out there, who's available that we can get, and then we got to narrow that down to who will buy some of the snake oil from David.
Let me show you the article right here, and this is by way from Clutch Sports, saying that why Pelicans must add Mike D'Antoni to bench amid coaching departures. And then toward the bottom, it's actually a pretty decent article if you guys want to kind of go and check it out. It says James Borrego, Kenny Atkinson are both doing interview sessions with the Cavs. Atkinson did well as a developmental coach, guide in rebuilding the Nets squad to respectability. He did a really good job by the way. Atkinson's Nets even made the NBA playoffs, earning the 6th seed while they recently acquired, but still rehabbing Kevin Durant watch from the bench. Terry Stotts, David Yeager, and Sam Cassell are 3 other experienced names that might be ringing out in New Orleans soon. Other less experienced names to consider for the assistant jobs are Lloyd Pierce, formerly of Atlanta. He used to be the coach of Atlanta. Yeah. Mike Wojnarowski, who's Indiana Pacers. Chris Quinn, who's an assistant coach for the Heat. Jordan Sears for the Texan Legend G League team, TJ Saint from Birmingham Squadron, or Jody Meeks from the Squadron. So, you know, and then this article also throws in, it also throws in, what's the code? I just forgot, man. Yeah, exactly. It throws in, to D'Antoni. It mentions him. So, I mean, it gives you a bevy of different names to consider for some of these replacement jobs for the Pelicans. But, you know, like I said, if James Borrego gets the Cleveland jobs, you might lose some more assistants. You might lose a few more people. That's how it works.
That would be hilarious at this point, man.
It would, but I'm saying
that would be hilarious at this point. If
If-
James Borrego come here and poaches assistants that he didn't even bring here, that would be hilarious. I could at least understand the Trajan Langdon thing. Those guys been in the building with him. There's a Monty Williams connection, also to Vinson more than Trajan Langdon. But for James Borrego to be able to poach some people, man, we really got to look ourselves in the mirror. But I like the acquisition of Sam Cassell, man. I think if we be able to get him, that would be perfect. Like, he kind of embodies everything we missing. Like, I remember Sam Cassell. I was super young, but I do remember that Rockets team and seeing him, man. He was always a gutsy dude, played with a lot of passion, very intelligent basketball player, man. Kind of not their games weren't similar, but just in mentality, a little bit of Rondo. Maybe not as angry, but he definitely had a little bit of Rondo to his game, and I think he could be somebody that come here and put some aggression into guys. Like, we need point guard mentalities here. Obviously, with the lack of offense we have, and I think Sam Cassell will be like kind of a blend of having a coach, but also somebody who's young enough to kind of be like a player a little bit to those guys. Like, because that's what we're missing, man. We don't have really any genuine, real point guards on the roster. Even just having a vet with that type of mentality of setting guys up and getting easy buckets for other players, just that real unselfish type of mentality. We don't have that, and I think having a guy like Zion without having that is almost it's retarded. Like, how do we have a dude like Zion that has the capability to be able to play off ball and play in a pick and roll, and we've never done anything to build on that or improve those attributes of his game? Because pretty much the little bit of what we saw with Lonzo Ball, that was it. You're looking at Zion the last couple of years, he don't be doing a whole bunch off ball, because when he does make cuts or get guys in position, a lot of times they don't even get him the damn ball. So if you don't score off the dribble, you really ain't gonna score. So I think adding Sam Cassell, man, would definitely help with that, and he probably would influence Willie to sign a goddamn point guard if we can't trade for
He would be Willie's replacement.
Add that too. He could also be the replacement for Will.
I still think that Willie Green. Now, I don't totally, like I said, I've seen it, and Lex might not agree with me on this one.
Do we need to bring out the tap dancer? Because now you.
I'm gonna go get his penny. Tomorrow, Lex, I'm gonna bring his penny loafers in here.
Come on, Big Q. You were spending that. You backtracked. Don't do it.
That's Big Q.
Think about it. Think about it, man.
Big Q tap dance a little bit.
Think about it.
No, I'm just saying here. I'm just saying at the end of the day is that I think Willie incrementally he's gotten better from the previous year. But like I said, the glaring things that stand out, like the adjustments, all that kind of stuff, that has to, like, the progress of the team to get to the next level is all dependent upon him getting, like, not just incrementally better in this upcoming season. Like Lex, he has to have like a quantum leap. I've said that before, but he was
over there with Dennis Allen, Q, picking up some notes. You talk about guys going in the off season and reading different books and going to seminars. And the one coach you said that studied another, what was that? Eric Spoelstra. he studied something they were doing in football and brought it. Hey, Willie Green was out there at Saints practice, bro, with Dennis Allen, picking up some more defensive savvy. Huh?
You know what?
We can have a revolutionary defense this year.
He looked straight up clueless out there too. Did you see him?
How you clueless at Saints practice?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Am I in the way? Do I need to move?
Yeah,
Do I need
Lex.
to move off the field? Yes.
The man
you need
was
to get out
off,
of the
Lex.
building.
He wasn't working that day.
Get out. You know what I'm saying? We don't need anything else. You're with your checkers mindset to come in here and inflict on this practice. Okay.
I blame David Griffin for the checkers mindset because he damn sure ain't playing chess over there.
It really is because there is no chess in these guys.
He bad at playing checkers too, Lex. David Griffin is horrible at playing checkers. He's not even good at that.
Shoot, blackjack, Uno, all of them, dominoes. Oh my gosh.
I just think that, if you look at it, man, it has to happen. But like I said, the assistants, that's one thing. Borrego
so
takes.
He need to play with more compassion and joy this year. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying, look, I'm just preparing the family members because this is not over with. Like we knew Trajan Langdon was ultimately going to leave because he kept trying. He threw his hat in every VP job that was out there.
On sale.
Right. It was a matter of time before he left. We pinpointed that. And I thought, I was like, man, if he goes somewhere, he's going to take a few guys with him. So he took Michael Blackstone. He takes Freddie V. And if Borrego gets the job with Cleveland or LA, either one of the, because he's a real contender for the Cleveland job, he's going to take a couple of guys.
I think he's going to wind up getting that job.
Yeah, the Cleveland job makes sense. It really does make sense.
But I think they have maybe one more person that they're trying to get, because it's kind of weird when you have a coach that's constantly connected about a job and they're taking forever to sign him. They're possibly contemplating somebody else, maybe a bigger name.
Well, the thing is, they want to keep D Mitch. So what they're doing is they want to make sure that they get the right guy for D Mitch, because clearly they're trying to build around him. But yeah, look, you know what? You know how we said immediately after the season was over that the team or the organization needs to be very proactive in doing things and making things happen. Obviously, we were talking more about the trades. But even though trades haven't happened, there's been so many things going on, and with everything that's been going on, the Pelicans still have not done anything. Whether it's from the staff point, it's just basically, again, they're sitting and waiting. Like, what are you all doing? Because
to be real, I can't be mad at them right now for that, because they can't really, I don't think, do anything for real until like after the draft. As far as filling these front office, I mean, they might be going at somebody who's in the actual championship right now to fill one of these spots, and you're not gonna pull off a trade before the draft. That really never happens.
Are you on the hope?
No, I'm just saying, like, they may very well just keep having us hurry up and wait, Lex. But you don't
that's what they've been doing. Like you
don't pull off trades before the draft, though. There's no team that's gonna pull off a trade before the draft.
Detroit has already it's like there's a lot of action happening with the Lakers. With James Borrego, there's action happening with
nobody's been signed. Nobody's been signed yet.
Trajan has. Vince just left. That's why we're here. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Vince,
they still haven't signed Borrego. So wait, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the front office, or are we talking about them not pulling off the trade?
A trainer has left, right? A trainer has left.
Okay. Yeah.
Vinson just left. That's been the whole topic for the most part here. Vinson has just left. Trajan has been signed. And according to Woj.
We promoted Bryce Brown.
Okay. All right.
Let me stop.
Okay. Goodness. Oh my goodness.
Let me ask you this, Lex. What do you expect them to do within reason at this time period right now?
Right now, all I'm seeing is other organizations, and I haven't just because basically we're seeing the subtraction of the Pelicans, right? That's all we're seeing. We're not seeing any type of additions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's a stale moment. Nothing's happening. It's like we're just sitting. Oh, you want him? Okay, well, bye. See you later. And look, they're making posts. The New Orleans admin team is making posts. Oh, we appreciate you for what you did for the Pelicans, and we wish you good luck and all that stuff. That's what we're doing. That's what the Pelicans doing. I need this organization.
Hey, we're a basketball university, man.
More
Just keep
aggressive,
giving
man.
to the league.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, again, it's that small market mentality. Just because you're a small market team does not mean that you just have to sit and wait. You don't have to play that game. You don't have to embrace your small marketness. You can be a small market with a big time mentality. You can. Ask the Thunder. Ask the Grizzlies. Ask the T-Wolves. Ask the Spurs. Ask them.
Don't ask the Spurs.
No, but I'm just saying because they're a small market team. I'm just saying. I'm speaking like I'm not on that part. I already understand. I'm just saying, like, these are small market teams that don't have small market mentalities.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Just because that's just like, okay, hey, like, this person is short. Oh, I'm short, so I'm gonna have I can't. So they can't think big. Just because you're short in your height, you're telling me you can't think big. You know, Simone Biles, she's pretty short. Let me tell you something. She's thinking big. She's making big things happen. Like, you can't fall into that trap. It's a mentality. It's mind over body, like, literally. And I'm just like, you can't just sit and wait and hope things are going to happen. You have to do something. You have to be aggressive. Like I said, I can respect the Lakers because they try. They may make mistakes. And I know that they're a big market team. They can afford that. But you know what? That the point that I'm trying to make is that they're trying. They have all the money in the world, and they've been missing a lot. But they keep trying. They keep trying because they understand, look, we are a winning organization. We want to win. I wish that passion would stick out with the Pelicans. Like, look, you may have not have won championships. You may not have banners hanging up. We get that. But you know what? Show the fan base that you are trying to win. Be aggressive and stop sitting back and waiting. Like,
maybe they're trying to line up the Trae Young trade, Lex, and they're waiting for the right time to pull the trigger on that. You think that could be a possibility? If you get Trae Young here, then a lot of the other pieces I think can fall into place. How attractive do we look for some of these assistant coaching jobs? How attractive do we look for some of these other openings in the front office?
But that's the thing. Like, look, there's a lot of talented front office people out here. How many teams are there in the NBA?
Yeah. Lex, you make a 30 teams.
There's you don't know who's in these front offices of these other teams.
Yeah.
look, I think the GM for Dallas right now, do you know he worked for Nike? Their GM, he worked for Nike. You know what I'm saying? Like, because look, you can look at shoe companies. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's the talent is out there. It's out there. It doesn't have to be traditional, but it's like it's all about that mentality. Having that big time mentality. And I think that's the number one thing that this organization needs. It needs someone who has vision, imagination, big time.
We definitely lacking in that shit.
Exactly. It's like you have to have that type of mentality because that's going to help set that foundation of winning that this organization so badly needs.
Yeah, that deep. I don't think it's. You know what? You got a point on the small market thing. I just think it's leadership. Like Gail, she doesn't know. She doesn't know basketball, and like a lot of her vision with the Pelicans and the Saints aren't her vision. These are visions from Tom Vinson. And Tom Vinson, when he got the team, he was just looking just to be viable. You know, he was not trying to spend a lot of money. Like it just the movements that he made. Well, I mean that has to change. When he first bought the team, he had a naming contest for the Pelicans. It was a fraud. It was a fake naming contest.
What about the Swamp Dogs? We would have been better at the Swamp Dogs.
No, he had other names.
And then the New Orleans Crawfish.
No, they had the Crew. They had a bunch of names that were actually pretty good. They had the fact that he actually communicated with Utah about obtaining the name back. He didn't want to pay what they was asking, but Utah was willing to give him the name back. And he had in his back pocket
$2 million.
It was about $1 million or $2 million that they wanted to give up, and he was like, no, because he had in his back pocket the semi league New Orleans Pelicans baseball team he used to watch when he was a kid. He bought the defunct name, and then all of a sudden, mysteriously, the defunct name became the new name of the team that he bought. So I mean, he had this whole contest. It was off. It was fake. He went with the Pelicans, but the reality is, it just shows you the mindset of the ownership group under Tom Vinson. Now that he's transitioned, Gail doesn't have any new ideas of her own. She's still operating off of his blueprint.
And they needs to change too. But Jordan G had a great point. I'm feeling that. I'm with it, even if it's a fictitious character. we need that aggression for real.
Mr. Claw.
Yes.
Go up in there and ask David Griffin. You smoke crack, don't you?
Hey, we really do need, like, just, I know I be saying criminals and things, but golly, I mean,
damn, Lex.
I mean, you gotta go to the extreme, Lex, because we got some very outstanding guys, man.
Going to jump, Sam's going to jump. You want to die, don't you? I don't want to die. I don't want to jump.
Say Q. Put David Griffin's face over.
Happened today. Nowadays, you know what happened? They'd have fired They'd provide that man. You're like, you trying to put me on.
Zion wasn't selling drugs, nor was he on crack, Sean. So no, stop.
Wait, what? What's going on?
No, he was saying, look at Zion. I'm like, no, he wasn't selling drugs. He wasn't doing all that.
Man, yeah,
he was just lacking that leadership from the front office. See,
let me share with you guys this, man, before we close the stream down. Here's some salary stuff that we talked about. Now, we covered this some time ago, you know, just kind of revising it again, the salary cap situation with the Pelicans. These are some of the contracts currently listed. Guaranteed salaries.
Thank you, bro. Why you want to make all of us sick before we get out of here, bro?
CJ needs to go.
You should have opened the show with this, man.
That's the point. I would.
Eat once the show was over, man. You gonna upset my stomach.
DC, could you stop tap dancing so I can finish off the show, brother, by reading some statistics? Thank you, sir.
I'm not tap dancing. I was talking.
You tap dancing and talking. You rapping and tapping, DC. That's what you call it, rapping and
But
tapping.
damn, I must be talented as hell if I can do that shit.
And you got the guitar with a smile on your face.
And I'm playing the guitar too. God damn. Boy,
You're right.
superstar.
That's right. That's right. You're Molly boy. All right, Zion Williamson at 36.7 million, BI 36. You see him right there. CJ McCollum, 33 and a third. How about that? All threes, baby. All right, Herb Jones, 12.9, almost 13. See Larry's contract with 11 mil. Dyson, just over 6. Trey, 5.1. Jordan Hawkins, 4.5. EJ Liddell at 2.1. You see the overall total right there in terms of the guaranteed salary. The non-guaranteed goes to Matt Ryan, Malcolm Hill. You see is on a two-way deal right there. And then, of course, we scroll down, we see team options for Jeremiah Robinson Earl at 2.1 plus with the 9 bird rights. Jose Alvarado with almost $2 million right there. Salary will remain non-guaranteed if option is exercised. And, of course, as we stroll down, you see another two-way free agents was Darion C. Brown with the early bird rights for him. The draft picks, 1 overall is the 21st overall pick at that slot is 3.2 million, just over that. And then extension eligible players, Jose Alvarado, extension eligible until June the 30th. Or beyond if the team option is exercised. BI's on the veteran, is a veteran there. Najee's veteran, extension eligible until June the 30th. CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy's rookie scale. Larry Nance, extension eligible for October the 1st. Big V's extension eligible until June the 30th. And of course, the note is, unless otherwise indicated, these players are eligible for extensions beginning in July. Unrestricted guys, Big V, you see right there at 23.1. Najee Marshall is 2. Cody Zeller over 2. And other cap holes are still kind of money we owe other players. Billy Hernan Gomez with 4.6. Tony Snell just over 2. Gary Clark at 1.8 plus. Jared Harper at 1.8 plus. James Nunnally 1.8 plus for a grand total of 12.3 million on other cap holes. Cap holes for these players are on the Pelicans book for prior seasons because they haven't been removed. They can't be used in any sign or trade deal. Here come your cap extensions, your cap exceptions available. The Pelicans project to operate over the cap and under the first tax apron. Non-taxpayer mid-level exception is 12.8 plus. The biannual is 4.6 plus, and the trade exception is 5.7 plus. Unless other indicated, trade exceptions don't expire before the regular season begins. All right, so there you go. Some little backdrop information on players and our current exceptions and otherwise, just dropping that on you guys as well. And like I said, for family members that want to chime in, we'll pop back tomorrow. We'll have the call-in stream for people to kind of chime in with Q&A or expressions or who they think the Pelicans need to do to improve the team, player-wise, coaches ideas, stuff like that. Y'all got your chance tomorrow morning to be able to kind of reply on that, man, for the Pelican or PPR in the morning on Saturday morning, baby. How you love that. All right, so anyway, I'm going to turn the floor over to Lex and DC as we get ready to leave the stream. Lex, how do you feel about some of this stuff in important shops before we leave?
There's a lot of...
That's a lot of stuff, ain't it?
Yes.
Damn, see, you took all the passion out of Lex.
What'd you say, DC?
He took all the passion out of you reading that salary. You sound sleepy now.
Oh, no. I'm good, man. You are so funny. Nah, we need to let go of some of these contracts, though. It's like, Pelicans need to move some pieces. And they need to move some pieces. To get, just to get more productive. I don't know what to say about any of this stuff. I don't like CJ's contract. His contract just screams out just wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just wrong. He needs to. Well, I don't even want him to negotiate the contract. I know people have said that him coming off the bench and different things like that. I mean, not in no 33. 333, 333, all that, and no, that dog won't hunt. Larry, I actually like Larry, but the thing is, I don't like how Willie uses him. It's a combination of a few things with Larry, but he definitely probably needs to go. Because we know Willie Green is in love with him. And
That's why.
he loves small ball. But he is gone. He will also, he loves Larry so much, he'll kill him. Like, you're fresh off your injury, fresh out of surgery. All right, we're gonna put you in, play you 48 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know. I mean, I haven't even. How do y'all feel about EJ Liddell?
I think he has potential, but I mean, shit, when
You
you're not
talking him
playing,
down?
we don't. He's a question mark because you don't
I mean,
know how does he fit. What can he really? You don't know. You don't get no burn. So he looked all right in the G League, but he wasn't like jumping off the screen. But you seen some stuff like, oh, that's good.
he
That's
hasn't
interesting.
showed me a whole lot. Darion Seabryan. Why do the Pelicans still hold on to him?
I don't know.
Because the thing is, I'd still take Najee over
He a
him.
point guard who can't shoot. So I
Yeah, I
don't know what we're
mean,
supposed
he
to do with that.
flashes in, but
His
I just
defense and all that either.
I think he's reached the peak of his ceiling, Darion Seabryan, and I mean, it's like, where do you play him at? Because how is he
He's a
defensive?
career G League player at this point.
I mean, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we hanging on? And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like you're not really utilizing them. And then their fit. I know we always talk about, JV's fit as far as with, what Willie's trying to do, but his fit is actually more clear than these guys. Willie just doesn't use him, which that plays a whole part into it. I mean, it's the same thing with Jordan Hawkins, but it's like all these people with the exceptions of, someone like Jordan, because he is young. I mean, you did take him high, or excuse me, he is a lottery pick. So what are we doing with these guys that we've had for a while? Especially Darion. Now I know DJ, he's even mentioned Makovich. It's like, okay, so we brought Makovich back over. We haven't really seen him. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you called him up to play in any of the series, against the Thunder. It's like you have these guys and it's like, okay, y'all just look, can I be one of those players on the on the payroll? You know what I'm saying? Just getting paid to sit on the bench. It's like
Well, I mean, you got the whole adage with the money too. Like they gonna pay all the guys tied up in the money. Let's see, Darren Seabryan he's the next Dame Lillard. But
okay.
you look at their contracts. I'm just saying hypothetically. I'm not saying.
I mean, but
They're not gonna play him. You ain't gonna get no burn because of the money.
But what's likely to happen here, because the Pelicans are cash strapped. Now, after they make the trade, they're going to get a few people to help them in the starting lineup. But in terms of development, I mean, we basically resetting the core. You lose Najee Marshall, more than likely, the Pelicans could lose
Jose
Look,
too.
and
So
I'd rather keep a Najee and
right.
and look, like the guys that you're definitely not playing, clear up some cap space. Again, I'm not trying to be mean, but it is a business, right? This is a business. So if you're not using these guys and you're talking about, especially, it's like the finances is just really off.
They got to use it.
I
But
don't
see,
know who their
But we
finance
gotta have so
advisor
many
is.
players though, Lex. It ain't like they overpaying some of those guys.
Yeah, I
Now those
know,
other
but
contracts were
I mean, but
interesting to me when we
still,
talk about.
because of the poor decisions financially, you know, why is it that the team is almost going over cap space?
CJ
Like,
McCollum.
Real.
Well, yeah, but I'm
They
just
got
saying,
three,
like,
they got three contracts that's over $30 million each. I mean, you got
Yeah.
36 and 36 for BI. That's
they
36
shouldn't
for
have
Zion, 36 for
never
BI,
gave a
and
contract to
33 and a
CJ.
third for CJ McCollum. That's
CJ
all.
used his political skills against this organization when they were negotiating, or his agent. Because the thing is that he's not known for his speed. He wasn't known for his defense. And as we can all see, he's not that point guard that, we were led for him to believe that he could do or whatever. He's definitely a two guard. Like when you look at all those things, he's not super athletic. You know what I'm saying? And he's on the other end. I mean, he's more closer to being out the door than in the door. So when you look at all that stuff, why did you all give him that 33 mil? All because he said he wants to be a Pelican. Like he wants to be here. Because that's what I feel like. That's why they gave it to him. Because he told them, I want to be here.
He was a part of the core.
I want to end my career here. That was all political. And y'all felt for it.
Who was y'all? David Griffin.
That's
But the thing is, he's it.
Trajan ain't far for Trajan out here.
I'm just saying,
that's why it's gonna really fly.
That's the one thing he was going around doing the interviews saying, hey, I want to be here. I love it here, and all that other junk, political, talk that he be talking. Why'd y'all fall for that and give him this 33 mil deal? And I know he's been fighting through injuries. I know all the past stuff that he's done. I'm not knocking that. But if we're talking about, again, what you're doing on the court as far as your performance, and I commend him for fighting through injuries and things. Isn't that a part of being a professional athlete? To, fight through injuries and all that stuff or whatever.
Tell that to Kawhi Leonard.
Huh?
Tell that to Kawhi Leonard.
Come on, DC.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like when he did what he did, man, it's been different now.
I mean,
like nobody even cares about that.
He's a champion, and plus, you saw what he did with the Raptors. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, man, the dude did show up, and I think that's why they don't talk about him.
He knocked the Spurs out of contention for at least a good 6-7 years. Ain't that right, Sean? Y'all just getting talked about again.
It makes a difference when you've shown that you're a winner. It just does. When you have that type of clout, it helps your situation a whole lot more. So, I mean, they shouldn't have given him that contract. They should have condensed that down just a whole lot more.
But the idea and the vision, according to what David Griffin was given, was what they were attempting to do is create a core and then role players around it, and actually had, and like I said, I when you dealing with like injuries and stuff,
order was messed up though.
You got to dig.
You can see it in the money.
But you got to dig into. You got to develop the young players. Like you really need to develop these guys. Like EJ Liddell was a guy who he had some injuries and stuff like that.
That ain't gonna happen, Big Q.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of the stuff that they need to do for the team. Willie has to trust these young players, and Willie Green goes with the veterans. He trusts the veterans, the majority of the veterans, than he does the young players.
And if that's the case, and the organization can't develop these guys, start getting guys that are proven that hey, they can produce. Because the thing is, you're not instilling. The Pelicans basically need guys that already have confidence, that are already ready to go. They don't need to be developed. Say again.
That's a part, but that's what I'm saying. Does that play into their philosophy? Because they're cash strapped. So if whatever players they put into, they're gonna have to utilize them. Matt Ryan, those guys, Malcolm Hill, and guys like that, they're gonna have to. EJ Liddell, if these guys are healthy, Makovich, all these guys, they're gonna have to play them. They're gonna have to play these guys. You can't overburden Zion Williamson. with a delicate injury history. I'm saying, treat him like a rose, but at the same time, that's why I was a person always champion the five starters for five reserves idea. You don't want to overburden the starters, with these extra minutes. Some games they'll play more minutes, but overall, you want to be able to delegate all of that, which is your backups. Have your second line come in there and help out, and take some of the pressures off the starting five. But that is, the coach has to have that type of philosophy, and Willie Green doesn't know this team like he's supposed to know it. That's why I'm saying all this has to change. The philosophy and how he does that developing these players, it has to change.
And there was problems with the starting unit anyway, because the second unit would come in and insert all the energy. And it's like, why does the second unit have to come in and put energy in the game? Like,
because we don't have a point guard, Lex. We don't have anybody that can control the tempo of the game.
It's not even the point. The thing is, there was a lot of clash. There was a lot of clash. I don't know how many different styles the Pelicans played.
That still goes back to my point. We don't have a point guard. A point guard is that's like your quarterback, your coach on the court, your person that's gonna hold you to an identity. Like somebody's gonna create a way of playing, like give you a bread and butter. It's like that person that, okay, look, this side I go to, we know this gonna work. And they can constantly be out there reinforcing the positives of what we're trying to do because they understand the game on a multifaceted level. And we just lack that, man. We're not basketball intelligent as a team. We kind of just go out there and go through the motions, man, and we get everything in transition, creating offense off of defense. But when it comes to actually strategizing, setting teams up, utilizing what we have, we're horrible at that. And that goes from the top down, from our coach to our organization. We're horrible at strategizing to make the right moves, lacking vision as the organization. So we do the same thing on the court. You have a point guard, you put better people in the front office, intelligent, creative minds, like you said yourself. I think a lot of that changes, but they don't utilize these guys correctly. There's no way we should be going through what we're going through with Brandon Ingram, Zion, and CJ McCullough. I think this core that we're about to break up, it could have been a lot more successful. And they just needed somebody to quarterback those guys and get them the ball in their spots. And I think they would have been way more deadly as well as a lot more, aggression and what we just say passion, not compassion, right? But until we get a point guard, Lex, if we could replace somebody else, it'll still be the same thing, no matter the money or whatever.
Yeah, I'm definitely with. I mean, definitely need a point guard. I just, there was still a lot of different styles that were played. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you could just see it. I said many a times, like, we don't know what type of Pelicans team we're gonna get game after game. And the thing is, because the style changed. Like, okay, we're gonna focus on, Brandon gonna, handle the rock. Or, it was more focused on, Brandon or CJ getting involved. Then another game, it would be, okay, well, let's get Zion more involved. It's like there was no consistency. And it was like that would go for stretches, and then the whole game plan would change. And you're talking about no injuries had taken place. You know what I'm saying? This was like when everybody was good. And you would see changes within each game. Like, you know how they say, like, with the Warriors, whether Steph is in the game or not, the Warriors play the same. They play the same. The Pelicans do not play the same. Even when Zion was in there for like 10 games in a row, 15 games in a row, however many games. Or if he was out, like, they don't play the same. And that's the thing. It doesn't that has nothing to do with the point guard. That's about the fact that y'all haven't mastered the style because you change up the way that you play from game to game. And that
So you
that that
don't
was
feel like that's got to do with the point guard though? Like who's gonna hold them accountable to their style on the court?
okay. The thing is, if
Who's your
you
general? Like
you
who's
have
Zion ain't telling guys where to be, when to be. Like who's doing that other than the point guard with this team?
again, that's because it wasn't established. The hierarchy wasn't established. The identity wasn't established. That's where that comes from. You have to establish that whether you have a point guard or not.
Right.
You got to have some type of identity. It can't just be everywhere. I know you need a general.
Nobody's taking the lead. That's why I'm like they can't decide who's who. So you need somebody maybe not as talented, at least that can decide it for them. So that's why I'm saying the point guard would have changed that
Yeah.
because them three dudes couldn't figure out how to do
Coach do it too. You know what I'm saying? Because
it.
he wasn't helping
But
them
Willie ain't
out.
about to sit none of
You know
them
what I'm
down when they
saying?
don't listen.
Hey,
So
all I'm saying, hey, look, I want to share this, man, and I know this is at a small scale, but look, I coach second and third graders, right? Nobody really handles the ball well. Nobody does. So what I tell them, I'm like, look, move the ball. Move the ball. Like if you see that two people are coming to double you, that means one of your teammates are open. Somebody else is wide open. And let me tell you something. A lot of times during the course of the game, it would take them some time, but they started to move that ball, and it was beautiful. Second and third graders, they would get it down to that block and have a wide open block shot. And then when they were successful, they would look at me and be like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "It was beautiful basketball." It's second and third grade. And during the course of the game, like I said, it took them maybe a quarter to understand. But they when they like if the opponent team would zone, I'm like, look, hit the middle, be strong, grip that ball, turn towards the basket, look to the blocks. Whoever's on the wings, shoot down, get open. Like it's establishing something that ball movement works. If you don't know that, like that doesn't take a rocket scientist. Ball movement works. Ball movement and player movement. It always works. Trust me, I've seen teams that have no athleticism. They are straight up fundamental. And you know what they do? They move the ball and the players move. Just establishing that identity right there instead of standing around, because that's the whole purpose of the 0.5. If you establish, look, we need to move the ball. Move the ball. Don't get stuck in the corners. And if somebody's doing a pick and roll, Herb, we saw Herb do it. What did Herb do? He cut to the basket.
man, it'd be a shame watching her do all that and they
Yeah,
not utilizing him correctly, man. That's crazy.
backdoor cuts. Like these are things that they can work. And this is without a point guard. You're telling me you don't know how to pass, do bounce passing? Like this is without athleticism, period. And if teams with no athleticism, no speed, no nothing can do that, you best believe a team that does have talent, that does have athleticism, that does have speed, they can do that. It can be done. But you have to instill that. And that like throwing into the post. How many times do we talk about that? How come y'all don't know how to throw in the post? You learned that in middle school, man. You focus on the corner of the backboard, the bottom of that corner. You lob it. You look for the hand. You know, when the down of the post, when they raising their hand, they have their hand stuck out. You hit it right here. If a guy's right here, hey man, hit it in my chest. Like, how come you all don't know how to get the ball in the post? You have a small amount of window and you're over dribbling and you miss the window.
That's CJ.
These are basic things. This is stuff that you learn in middle school. Like literally, that's stuff that you learn. Like those are the type of problems. And then it's like, hey, as a coach, let me get a timeout. Hey guys, look, we need to get the ball to Jonas. If we start pushing the ball to Jonas, and this is whether Zion's in or Zion's out, look, push the ball to Jonas. He's a big guy. He can open up the perimeter. Stop doing handoffs. Do the pick and roll. Man, I wish they would have did the pick and roll between Jonas and Zion in the middle of the floor.
Never even tried
it. They did that so few times, and every time they did it with the small amount of time that they did it, they're both big guys. It is so hard for those skinny guys to get around two big guys, y'all. You have a guy in Zion who's he's a tank who has the speed of a guard, who has a nice handle around the rim, and then you have Jonas who's just big. You can't get around his wide butt if he screens you. And then you trying to keep up with Zion who has all that power. Try moving him. How come we never use that easy play? That's without a point guard. That's without a point guard. And then you're talking about having a shooter like Jordan Hawkins, CJ, who's ready to shoot the three off of a handoff. Trigger trade down, and Herb ready to cut to the basket off ball on weak side help. It's like this is just it's without a point guard. These things can work. They can work. But it's like you gotta establish that identity, whether you have a point guard or not. And I think the thing is, it's not like the guys on the court can't handle the ball at all. But I mean, again, ball movement, player movement, and then you have advantages. There, man, that pick and roll between Zion and JV, oh my gosh, man. In the middle of the floor. They did it against the T-Wolves. Y'all remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Zion scored 12 points straight.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing that the whole time. You know why? It worked, and they kept doing it. They kept doing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They couldn't do anything with it. If something like that is working, man, you can do, man. Please run that play over and over again.
That play didn't. They did a lot of positive stuff. He just never manufactured it and used it like he was supposed to. Because Minnesota had no answer for that.
They didn't.
They really, So.
I mean, that would have been so beautiful to see that. And then, look, once you condition them, okay, you know Zion's coming. Hey, man, Jonas, who's a skilled offensive player, I mean, just throw it to him, or he's right there in the dunker spot, or able to get. Isn't he a rebounding machine?
Double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maximizing these guys' talents, man, and that's without a point guard.
Yeah, that's something that we've been. We have to got to figure that out moving forward. And plus, adding talent to the team, who you're going to get to play center, kind of filling in the roles off the bench, any trades, what the trades look like, all this other stuff. There's so much stuff the Pelicans have to start looking at over the next several weeks, man, to be able to decide on which direction or how they're going to do this thing. It's going to be interesting this upcoming season. A lot of pressure on the Pelicans, man. A lot of pressure on the Pels. All right, so look, we're gonna leave it right there. Listen, I appreciate all you guys for chiming in on this thing. Shout out to DC and his tap dancing. Appreciate Lex breaking the game down.
Shout out to Big Q and his bullshit moonwalking.
Shout out to y'all.
One love, man. One love.
One love,
Lex. Coach Lex.
That's
busting
the
it down,
only love
man.
we talking about.
One
we
love,
ain't talking about the love doctrine and stuff.
Nah, love doctrine, man.
We talking about
Man, that love doctor is some bullshit, man.
It sure is. Slim, we just want it to be better, man. We really do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you see the stuff that works. You know what I'm saying? And then they go away from it. It's just heartbreaking.
They ain't gonna never stick with nothing that work. But if I had $1 for every time one of them damn dribble handoffs got blew up, and they keep going with that shit.
I love it, Slim. Hey, Slim said, "Go Pels, man."
Go Pels, DC. Shout out to DC. Shout out to Lex. OG Jerry, man. It was Jerry's birthday tonight, man. I mean today. Shout out to OG Jerry, man. He made 40 years old. Shout out to that brother, man.
All right, Jerry.
Big ups to OG. Big ups to you, bro. Hope you're having a good one and a good birthday weekend, man, as well. So we're gonna get out on that, fam. We're gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. PPR will open up.
It's almost tomorrow, Big Q. Oh, shit, we only got 8 more minutes. It's tomorrow.
So you can stop tapping.
Well, it's today for me.
Talking about we gonna come back tomorrow. We gonna come back later on in the day.
You see those talking, I can end the show, you know, tap dance and all that tap dance.
Let me find out your ass don't know how to tell time. What's wrong with you?
See, operating on island time right now, so it's all.
No, that's you making up shit. We gonna come back tomorrow.
Hey, we about to open up the stream.
By the time Lexxah finished singing, Edge and we all the damn infomercials and shit, it's gonna be tomorrow.
That dude saying commercials. All right, so look, we out, man. We're gonna holler at.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.